Okay, chocolate. That's the #1 thing that I want everybody to sample tonight. And if you don't want to eat it, you don't have to. But it'd be a good idea for you really to try this. This isn't regular chocolate. It's called heirloom. Do people, do you know really what heirloom versus hybridized versus GMO foods are and the differences? Does anybody know that? These are very basic things, but you know, basic things sometimes in the beginning of what we feel is a confusion about health. Is sometimes, that's what this whole idea is about, is to be able to see if we can unravel some of the confusion about very simple things. Very simple. The basis of everything we're going to talk about tonight is getting back to nature, getting back to a naturalistic lifestyle, getting away from chemicals, synthetics, hormones, antibiotics, a host of different myriads of 80,000 chemicals that are basically legal to put into the system. So when you go to just when you go to places like Whole Foods and it says conventional, what do you think conventional means? When you see, like on food, it says conventionally grown, that means anything goes, pretty much. So, I mean, it's really important to find out that, you know, a lot of people come up to me and they say, Doc, you know, I have a problem with this disease, or I have this and I have this. How about it's all the same stuff? It's disharmonic to your bioelectric, your field, that makes it so your cells can't reharmonize themselves and reproduce themselves in a perfect holographic form. See, we're just batteries, aren't we? Ever seen the movie The Matrix? Okay, when Morpheus holds up the battery and he says, they use you for this. Okay, remember that, the machines? We're going to talk about some different things, you know, and I'm just, again, because I like to talk about really being real. I'm just a student like everybody else. Some people say, oh, you're an authority. No, I'm just a student growing at my level. Yeah, I went through 3rd grade, I went through 4th grade, 5th, and each grade has its own things that you learn it. But once you pass that grade, you go to the next one, and then it's a brand new grade, and you're starting all over again, isn't it? So I'm like in maybe the 10th grade right now. I've been researching this, and really, I've spent personally over $1 million playing around, researching all different types of things that really there is not one specific thing that's wrong with the system. Most of it is all wrong. Okay, so once you see that, then what you want to do is you want to do this idea called the lifestyle transition. You want to optimize your health and wellness only by changing things over for this, for that, for tit, for tat, as I say. You're going to upgrade your lifestyle. So most people say, how do I upgrade my lifestyle so it's easy? This is the 3 E's I go by. Okay? Very simple. And if I can get you to follow the 3 E's, you'll do it. If it's easy, will you do it? Yeah? Okay, that's the first part. If it's efficient, will you do it? It's more better than what you're doing right now, then what would you think? Of course. Easy, efficient, and most important, economical. Okay? Everybody who's here tonight has a free membership to our club. Our club is wholesale. It's not really liked too much in the retail world. The way I look at it as a doctor, I've seen a couple 100,000 patient visits over 15 years. And you can't help anybody. All you can do is give the tools for people to want to help themselves. And make reasonable and logical ideas on why you want to do it. Because if not, you're just changing from one horse to the next just because why? You're searching for something. So if it makes reasonable, that's what we're going to show you here. We're going to show you some reasonable and logical ideas. Okay, that's the whole idea. People really have a confusion of a lot of the different things that are being thrown at you today. Everybody wants to sell you something, don't they? This is going to help you. This is going to cure you. This is going to change your life. Okay, great. Sounds like a cheap multi-level marketing idea. So what we really want to bring to you is the effect of, we've got about 100 products here. And these products are here not to add to your lifestyle, they're here to exchange into your lifestyle. Look at the state of the union right now. 75 million diabetics, 50 million people on Prozac, Zoloft, and Paxil, 80% of the population that are what's called 15 pounds plus overweight, and I don't call it that, I call it toxic. So body fat is just a creature, it lives in toxicity, and it's very simple to see. Don't try to starve these creatures. All you do is terrain modify them, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is terrain modification. Anybody ever heard about that? How many people have not heard about terrain modification? Okay, a little easier. Okay, terrain modification. Now, let's understand what that means. It's very simple. If we wanted to terrain modify the grass, what would we do? We just keep cutting it every week? Because that's insanity, isn't it? We're trying to, what, stop the grass growing, but every week it gets 15 minerals at least, and it gets a little water and some sunlight, and what it does is it just keeps producing, doesn't it? Okay? If we terrain modify the ground, we can change the way the grass grows by changing its water supply, by changing its light supply and its mineral supply. And that's the same exactly for what's happening with us at this time. See, if we lose our minerals, we get sick. Do you know what kind of food you're buying at the store right now? If it's traditional, conventionally grown food, how many minerals? I'm going to ask some questions here once in a while, and I just want to see what kind of, because last time, Robin, remember you had a lot of people that really knew a lot of things, which is cool, because they help everybody, because it really feels like you're on the right path when other people are actually coming up with some of these ideas. So, I'm going to jump around a little bit at first, because the picture's big. It goes from the smallest of smallest to the biggest of biggest. And if we can go ahead and actually see both sides of the fence, then we'll come back to the present for a little while here, and we'll really get into, really, how does this affect us in this day and age, and how could we really do something about it instead of just talk about it. Remember, it's problems, reactions, and not just solutions, but simple solutions. Very simple. And remember, once you get sick, it's a problem, because that means you have to have, now, you have to do things today. Transmission falls out, what do? You call up your whoever you need, the call phone, and you get towed. Depending on what your insurance card says, oh, you can only go 5 miles because your AAA card, oh, you got the special AAA, it goes 100 miles. Okay? What kind of insurance do you have? Remember, it's not health care insurance, it's sick care, because you don't use it for health care, you only use it to get sick. And if you go to the hospital, let me tell you, going in that hospital, my mom went in and she never came out. So you got to really watch iatrogenic disease, and that means hospital caused. So everybody in this room right now has what's called an immune system. You ever heard of that? And the immune system can be terrain modified, because if your immune system is strong, it doesn't matter if you have a sickness, it doesn't matter if you have bacteria, it doesn't matter what you have that a lot of people are scared of, because your body is strong. It can't anchor. So what we're really trying to understand here is there a way that we could upgrade our DNA to be able to take a certain fuel source? Let's say, for instance, you want to put in super fuel in your car. Do you think you can just put it in? Remember the old days, you had to adjust the carburetors, maybe change the jets. You had to do a couple of upgrades on the car to be able to make it so that car could actually synthesize the new fuel. Remember that? Anybody ever heard of that? Okay, so wouldn't you think it's the same for this machine, since it's been eating genetically modified foods for many years? Genetically modified foods are sterile foods. That's what that means. GMO means genetically modified organism. Hybridize means that you take a banana and you stretch it out. You take an apple and you stretch it out and hybridize it. You take cacao and you stretch it out. Hybridize means this is why you do it. It's called money, the bottom line. The tree produces more. And if it produces more, what do you think happens to the plant? It spreads the minerals out less and causes the plant to become very weak. You eat the plant and you become weak like the plant. You are what you eat, end of story. This is very basic. We're going to get into some of these simple parables. You just have to put them into today's world. You are what you eat. Okay? We're going to say this several times. So what does that mean? It's not only that. That's what, remember Hippocrates, these different guys came up with these really cool sayings. And it's not only what you eat, it's but what you drink, it's what you breathe. It's sticking cell phone transmitters, or what's called microwave transmitters, up to your head. It's having certain types of things in your mouth. Someone here just got back from Dr. Morales'. Who was that? There we go. Was that easy? Okay, you went ahead and changed your mercury fillings or your porcelain fillings, and you replaced them with amethyst and or crystals. I put 50-50 in mine. Is that what you did with yours? Oh, just quartz? Okay. The crystal is number 8 in hardness. Diamond is 10. This is the number 1 problem why anybody who gets a sickness is from right here. Number 1. Don't believe it? Look it up. Got a root canal? Got a problem. Each tooth is an organ. Okay, so if that's true, let's get another show of hands. How many people have been penetrated by the dentist? What? How many people have been penetrated? I mean, let me get them way up there. Okay, again, how many people haven't been penetrated by the dentist? Let me see another show of hands. Boy, you're good. Okay, how many people haven't been worked over by the dentist by one penetration of one hole in the tooth? And we're not bagging on dentists. Again, this is just a common occurrence where most disease starts right here. This is the supercomputer, as above, so below. And if it gets perverted here, it just perverts everything below. It's very simple. You want to clean your life up? What do? Start from the top. And you start from the easiest thing. Food is the simplest thing to clean up your act with. Fluids, simplest thing to clean up your act with. This is hard. Because people say, I just spent $5 grand, I went to the doctor, I took out my mercury fillings, I put in porcelain. Who knows what porcelain is? Sounds cool, porcelain, toilets, got little figurines and all kind of stuff. What's porcelain made out of? Aluminum, ceramic, okay? So you don't want aluminum oxide in your mouth because that's not cool either, especially if you're putting cell phones up to your head, or especially if you live in the city when there's electrical magnetic frequencies, RF frequencies, and ionization frequencies that use this thing in your mouth as an antenna. Not so good. So you talk about a perversion, and that's an ugly word. Number one perversion I see out of everything, forget the foods, forget killing animals, forget about all this stuff, is the mouth. This is the number one thing I could tell you if you want to really change your life. You change your food supply to superfuels, not superfoods, superfuels. You can't just do it. Your microbes, yeast, mold, fungus, all these anaerobic things that live in our bodies, they will not put up with a massive snap change. You have to do a terrain modification. You slowly bend these things to be able to change you into another being, because they have to change with you. If you think you're going to fight these, we're going to show you some. Does anybody really know parasites good here? Has anybody studied parasites real well? Let me see. How many people really studied parasites? Okay, because parasites are elusive. Look how many people. Got one person in here studying parasites. They're elusive, aren't they? And everybody in here is loaded full of them. Wow! Is it maybe because they don't want you to know, or they don't want you to be able to actually think this way? I'm going to show you. I'm an esotericist, like Brian was saying. I talk behind the veil a little bit. Once we get going here, it'll be a little better. I got to feel everybody's. Everyone's got a tune going, so we all got to get in tune a little bit. We all want the same things. We all want healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise, don't we? Just simple things. If no matter where you travel on the planet, I don't care if it's China, India, Mexico, we all want to take care of our families at the lower levels. At the larger levels, we can see that humanity needs everything the same. So then what's the problem? Why are there, remember, 3 billion people on this planet that don't even have electricity? And on our side of the fence, it looks like we're living pretty high on the hog here. We don't know how to make power. We don't know how to grow our own food. We don't know how to take care of ourselves health-wise. We have no idea how to process our own waste. We're called earthlings. We've been trained to become this. So this is what's happening now. We're all wanting to become earthers. We want to change our status. And part of changing your status is not from the outside first. You have to go inside. All this ascension is really cool, but it's wrong. It's inscension. You have to go inside first, restructuralize your DNA, and you must then, secondarily, you command exterior sustainability. Once the interior body becomes sustainable, then the exterior body becomes, it's just what it is. You can't change it. It's part of your program now. 5 years of vegan. Okay? And then how many people here are right now eating any type of flesh, whatever? No matter if it's fish, no matter if it's chicken, no matter if it's beef, pork. I just want to see how many people are doing that, okay? And remember, why would you want to stop eating flesh? Because what lives inside you doesn't want you to stop. Does it? You smell? I stopped eating meat probably about 10 years ago. And it took me about 6 years just for me to get the saliva gone. I go ahead and smell Wood Ranch barbecue and I go, whoa, does that smell good? Start dripping spit. Okay? And if you have these sensations, it means you still have the tapeworms inside you. Even though you're denying feeding them, they're still there. So what we're going to show you is that you don't try to kill anything that lives inside you. If you do, I can tell you this as a recommendation. You're foolish. So a lot of the cleanses that I see, I don't recommend any killing at all anymore. And I used to be a killer before. I can tell you, as a parasitologist, toxicologist, if it moves, let me shoot it. Okay? It's a parasite. It's not supposed to go ahead and have the validity to have life. But since it is an energy form, have you ever met an energy life form on this planet that doesn't want to live? I don't care if it's a parasite, I don't care if it's a black widow, I don't care if it's a scorpion, or the rattlesnake that you saw me hold on TV or on Google. Everything wants to live. And not only that, what if you give the rattlesnake love? What if you give... You've ever seen this? There's an article that a guy in, I think it was Nicaragua, he found a 17-foot crocodile, a saltwater croc, and he took care of it. And it had it was basically going to die. It had a big bullet hole in it. You can look it up, just put in Crocodile Whisperer. And this is really cool to see that if you take care of even a reptilian, hyperdimensional crocodile that really doesn't want to have anything to do with a mammalian, you taste good, that's about it. Okay? How could this guy play with this animal? Love does override most of the things that you could call, even in your health. So I just bought a tape today, didn't I, Rob? And I always come here and I say, come on, ruin me a little bit more. Give me something else I don't really need to see, but I have to see. Okay? So I let him do everything in here is really, because I don't think he would carry anything that really is not, and it's a lot of different levels, but there's an enlightenment going on right here, and really it's sort of big, so you really can't get too overcompensated to you know, say, oh geez, I got to change my whole life. Yeah, so a little bit at a time. And you take a shower every day? That's the #1 poison. Do you have a shower to chlorinate? And if you have the money, I would buy a whole house system. We have them for a couple $100 for your whole house at Earthshift. Usually in those, if you look them up on the internet, those are a couple grand to buy. So what I've done is I've got a lot of direct deals with a lot of people, and I'm not really liked by too many people sometimes, because what we're doing is trying to pass this idea down to you guys. Remember, I want you guys to be able to really, the reason why you're getting all these types of deals and different things we put together is because we really want to do it, this clinical study. The clinical study is what happens to you and I when we clean our acts up. I know what happens to you. I know what happens to everybody that does. Okay? We get faster, quicker, smarter, very quickly. How about if you just drink 8 to 12 glasses of hydrational liquids a day? Blue-green algae. I have 2 of these a day. These are magical. What kind of blue-green algae? I'd use the AFA. It took me a year just to be able to find the right blends, the right processing, and the right packaging to be able to, and since I couldn't, I had to go ahead and do most of the stuff. You know, what happens is that you find out that there's a lot of good products, but something's wrong with it. So we work with the manufacturers, we change this or we do this, or they help us do such and such. And what we've really found out is that unless somebody sort of organizes this new food supply for you, it's going to take a long time, like it did us, to be able to really sort through all the things. When you walk into the healthier food store, it's not a health food store. 90% of the things in that store, remember, still are not what you call healthy. They're still wrapped in petroleum-based packaging. Bisphenol A-free packaging is what we have here, all food grade. Most of the packaging is called Bis-A. You ever heard of that? If you look it up, you'll see bisphenol A is outlawed in Canada. Bisphenol A is a very, very super toxic plasticizer. They put it in all this stuff. This is polycarbonate. It's full of Bis-A. Vitamix. Send them an email maybe and tell them to make one without Bis-A. So if you use, and I'm not bagging, everyone's changing. We're all upgrading our systems. So once we find out that, and this is a magnetic blender here. I'll show you real quickly how to make one of these. This is a very, I used to do a lot of patents before. That's how I made some nice little passive income on certain types of patents I put together. So now I don't do patents anymore because you just fight with everybody stealing and cheating and everything. So now what I do is I show people how to do things that I would have actually ran to the patent office to show someone how to make a magnetic blender. And what is a magnetic blender? Sounds cool. It takes fats and waters or oils and vinegars and makes them turn into a compound one. So you have oils that are over here, which have a different density. They float. And you have water or vinegar. They don't mix, do they? You shake Bernstein's salad dressing up, what do you have to do? You have to pour it very quickly because immediately it wants to undo itself again. Not in here. So the configuration real quick, and I have a lot of this on the internet. We just did some videos on how you can go ahead and make this. These are very simple. It's a 10-minute video. We have all the magnets. You can get it from us. They're like 50 cents a piece. If not, they're like, you can get them at Home Depot for a couple dollars a piece, but again, might as well get the right ones. And what we do is, why don't you hold this for me here and you can see how this works. Actually, you hold this one and hold it like this so you can tell everybody what you feel. There's a power there, isn't there? It's invisible. You and I are playing games because no one else can feel this but you and I can, and it's strong. Yeah. If you try to put it straight on there right now, put it straight on. This is powerful. Okay? Now, what we're doing, do you breathe in and out? Remember, this is a holographic system. You want to weed out 90% of the BS you go ahead and see everybody trying to feed you? Then just know if it doesn't fit into the holographic physics system, if it doesn't mirror itself, then you know it's a lie. Okay? Do you breathe in and out? So if you really want to play with free energy, what do you think you do? You just holograph what the sun does, what we do, and what everything does. It breathes in and out. Doesn't it? Okay? The sun flips its poles every 11.2 years. It breathes in one way, it breathes out another way every 11.2 years. It's got a longer breath than ours, but it does breathe every 11.2 years. Now, the way this works, hold this up like that again. So this has a in-breath. You can see how it's fighting here. Actually, out-breath, and this is an in-breath. It's going to pull it. Okay? You can see how that's strong. It wants to pull them all off. Yeah. Okay, and then so same thing. We're going to turn it around this way. So this is a out-breath, in-breath. Out-breath, feel that? In and out. And this is what happens to the material inside. Do you feel that weird feeling? It's pulling in, isn't it? And pulling out. Okay? And what you do is you well, you just watch the 5-minute video and you can make it at your house. If you put these on your shower, you can put them on your fuel, you put it on your house, and what you're going to try to do is magnetize your water. Why would you want to magnetize your water? Why would you want to magnetize anything? You're pre-structuralizing it so your body can actually absorb it a little easier. Okay? Now, magnets don't work like this. What's working here? Nothing. And how do these actually grab energy anyways? Because remember, the reason I'm talking about this is because everybody in here is a magnet. You have a north-south brain. You have a left and right side. Okay? In-breath, out-breath, as I say, left and right, or positive and negative. You have one pole. I want you to hold this like this and you can feel this too. There's one. Okay? You can feel it's very strong, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, let's flip this around, both of them around. Okay? And now we have another pole here. We have north-north. This is south-south, equally as strong. And now you keep yours like that, and I'm going to turn mine around, and you can see here's the third energy we have. We have north-north that fights each other, south-south fights each other, and north-south that pull each other together.
Opposites attract.
That's right. Okay. Now, when we show you over here, what's happening with the sun is because it's a big magnet. Oh, is it big? It's 860,000 miles wide, right? It's about 93 million miles from us. It takes 8 seconds for the sun to go ahead and actually send its light to the earth. It takes about 1 second for the distance between the speed of light from here to the moon. It takes about 4.1 years to get to the next solar system in our little part of the galaxy. You have to travel 186,200 miles a second. Salut. For 4.1 years to be able to hit Alpha Centauri, which is the first star system. So you can see how everything is so spacious. It's all because of magnetics. So once we become healthy, our bodies become spacious inside. If not, what we do is we get corrupted and we get a ton of particles that find themselves and they lodge inside our lymph system. They lodge inside our brain. They lodge inside our glands. They plug up all different types of things that actually, just like in your car, brand new car outside, $10 gas filter, and if you put in the wrong fuel, it clogs up the filter and your car doesn't run, or it'll starve it and make it so it'll make everything overheat, and now it'll, just because of the filter, your engine blows up, so you go to the doctor and you got a heart problem, but you don't have a heart problem, you have this problem. That's just secondary. So when you really see this big problem, most of the problems we see are because we've denatured our bodies. We've lost all our minerals. Remember, we have only 3 minerals in the foods that you get at the store: N, P, and K. You know what those stand for?
Nitrogen, phosphorus,
potassium. 3 minerals. How many minerals are there in Himalayan salt?
84.
80 plus minerals. So why would we want to eat food that only has 3 minerals in it? Do you really think, since your body really wants to be conductive and it needs this magnetic energy, and if you don't have minerals, then what happens? I'm going to show you. This is a very simple experiment, and I try to show this all the time because this hits home. This is a very simple unit we put together. This is dangerous because if I put my mouth on those 2 prongs, it will give me an electrocution because it's plugged right into the wall. And so if those 2 plugs, they touch together, then what happens is the light bulb goes on. I want to see the light bulb go on? Okay? Now, if you think that the water inside you, okay, is conductive, that means that you're probably thinking in the right direction, because if your water, your fluid inside loses its conductivity to electricity, then how would you think that your body, if you wanted to rebuild yourself, if anybody in here has what's called an incurable disease in here right now, you're wasting your time trying to help yourself unless you understand biomechanics of electricity and magnetism. That's all it is. Your body fixes itself. You couldn't fix it if you wanted to. Quit being arrogant. Everybody, I'm a healer. Sure thing. The body fixes itself. Okay, all you have to do is give it what it needs, take away what it doesn't, and it will reorganize itself just as nature does, like a tornado, self-organizing. So I'm going to put this in. This is just regular water, borrowed some of Bill's water, and this is not tap water, but this is water that you buy at the store. What kind of water was that, Bill?
Crystal.
Sparklets?
Yeah.
Okay, we got Sparklets water, which is dead as a doornail because this light bulb should be going on if it had any conductivity. So what makes you think if you drink this water that's dead as a doornail and you put it in your 18 gallons of salt water, which is a conductive magnet, you really think you're doing yourself a favor? You're losing your power by drinking dead water. So let's stop that perversion. Let's start drinking 8 to 12 glasses of electrical magnetic water a day. What would you think that would do to this body that's just a liquiditarian? It's a machine. It loves water. It doesn't really like food. You know what likes food? Is the creatures that live within the body. We're a hydrogen engine. Okay, at our highest peak fuel source, hydrogen is the most available element on this planet. Don't you think the system here, this machine, would be smart enough to uptake it? It's not. Because you're saying, oh, because there's no electricity in that thing. Okay, you want to try it? Touch it and see if it is? Well, because you don't believe. Let's put you in the jacuzzi that has this same Sparklets water. Sounds cool, Sparklets, okay? Let's go in the jacuzzi. Okay, we're going in this dead water. It makes us dead too, because, of course, the water's going to transfer to us and it's going to steal our energy because everything's trying to neutralize it and harmonic it. So, if you really realize now that you'd want to only put in things that are conductive. So, let's put in something now that's conductive. Your body runs off of magnesium. It's the power plant that runs the mitochondria, which is realistically 100 trillion little engines inside one of these machines. 100 trillion cells in this body. Each cell has a small little tiny powerhouse. If the cells can actually touch each other, guess what? You're in love with yourself inside, at least electronically and magnetically or physiologically. Each cell, if it can actually touch itself electronically, can heal thyself. Don't you think that would be smart? If everybody could sort of hold hands here, don't you think all your energies would be connected together? Yeah. And the further you get apart, don't you think that your energies are like, I'm all separated from this guy versus if I hug him? Our energies are together, electronically. I'm still waiting for the light to go on, okay? As you notice, let's go ahead and do a real good experiment. We're going to put, what's your name? Marty. Let's put Marty in our jacuzzi with Sparklets water. Then let's go ahead and take something with more power. Let's give it like 220 and maybe 100 amps because, oh, this is going to make you smell like chicken if it actually works, okay? We're going to put this in the water just like with this. And if the light bulb doesn't go on, you live, and if it does, you won't know the difference, but it'll be quick, okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to put in some stuff called conductivity solution. This machine loves to actually be conductive. It loses its conductivity when we have a dead, acid, demineralized diet. Now, watch what happens here. I'll pick this up so everybody can see it here. There we go. Oops. Why do you want to hold that? We're sort of short on a cord there. Okay, so I'm going to put one little drop, and you'll see this. There we go, thanks. 1 drop. Let's see what it does. Okay, do we get a little light? Whoa! Just 1 drop.
No.
Conductivity. You're starting to smell like chicken. Okay? 2. I think you're done now. Okay, now we're actually getting well done. And you can see how this light will just keep on going more and more and more. If I put in more, it keeps on getting brighter and brighter and brighter, because this is conductivity. Without these conductive elements in your body, you are not going to be able to regenerate. Everybody understand that? And you're young, so do you need to regenerate? You betcha you do. Every cell in your body regenerates itself every 18 months. Do you need to regenerate? Of course you do. Every cell in your body regenerates it every 18 months. Then why does everybody age? We lose our electricity. We lose our power. Okay? How do we lose our power? We gain aluminum, cadmium, mercury, lead, arsenic, thallium, stainless steel, insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. All this shite. Toxicity. And every particle that goes in you, you lose that. Look, I'm waiting for the light to go down now. Did it wear the minerals out? No. These are conductive elements. They are not being used. They are just touching, like everybody holding hands. Do you use energy? No. Let's say your energy is weak and yours is powerful. Everybody touches hands. What do you think happens? All the batteries get equal. Simple cosmic law. So, I just wanted to show you that this simple experiment, and now you can put white sugar in here if you want. What do you think happens? Keep on eating white sugar. It's good for you. You know what happens? No light bulb. And this is this. You lose your power here, the body's energy. And once we, I'm going to unplug this dangerous machine here. This is dangerous. So. Once we really understand that all we're really trying to do is put minerals back in our body, that makes simple sense. Okay? Would that make sense? To put minerals back in your body, you saw the light go on. Are you putting minerals? Does anybody here take any ionic plant minerals based? How many people don't? Okay. How do you get your minerals? Most everybody. Do you get them through your water? Do you get them through your foods? Okay, fruits and vegetables. Remember, if you're eating fruits and vegetables that are NPK, it only has 3 minerals. Do you think you're getting your minerals?
I eat organic.
Okay. And if it's organic, then what does that really mean? It just means that it's a much better, it's really hard to tell. The best thing to do is grow your own stuff, but that's really hard. And that's one of the reasons why we opened up this food company, is because, okay, let's just take for one thing. Oh, Himalayan salt's good for you. You better find stone ground Himalayan salt, because if not, it's machine ground, and this stuff is really hard. This is a crystal. This isn't rock salt. It's not sea salt. This is crystal salt. Just like Brian was saying, you want to become a crystal, then those crystals are very, very, very smart to have around you. What is a crystal made out of? Opposite of carbon. Silicon. It's silicon and oxygen only. This thing is number 8, and throw it through the window. it'll cut glass. Okay, it's very sharp. Crystals, to me, are just a very weak name. I call them interdimensional gems.
Well, why do you want stone ground instead of machine?
Because when you start out with a machine ground, it's a stainless steel, really hard. Stainless is made out of nickel, and after about a month of grinding that really hard stone, that blade gets about this big. We had to go and actually buy back we got rid of our stone grinder at first, the guys that we were working with, and they moved up to a metal grinder. And we wouldn't take their salt because I said, how long does the metal last? He says, oh, about every 6 weeks we have to change the blade. I said, how big is the blade? He said, it's about this big. How big does it get when you change it? He says, oh, about half the size. Where do you think all that metal goes? And this is hard metal. So heavy metal poisoning is pretty hidden. And once you get it inside you, do you think you're really going to get it out easy? No. These things are magnetically bound in our body. They don't just float in and float out. Aluminum goes in your brain. Lead goes into your gonads, your ovaries, goes into your glands. Mercury, lead, and tin goes into your nerves. That. They start to shake. They start to have problems with their neurological system because certain chemicals, certain types of insecticides, pesticides, and herbicides, where do they form in the body? Tissues. Okay? So, where does mercury form? In the nerves. Where do the heavy metals go? They get stuck in the kidneys, the glands, the brain. Okay? Now, one thing we're going to talk about, which is very smart, again, terrain modification. What we've come up with is really for you to be able to actually have an understanding. Why do you think everybody right now, or just an idea, why do you think there's more people right now sick than there has been in the last 30 or 40 years? Don't you think that in the last 30 or 40 years, if we were advancing, that there would be less sickness? Okay? You'd think that we'd be working less? You think that things would be actually different in an advancement stage? You can see right now it's in a downhill spin in many ways because of this thing called business. And you have to sin a lot to do business, don't you? How do you spell it? You got to keep a lot of secrets from people to do business. If not, there's no business, is there? So, one of our very simple ideas is to get about 25,000 people that want to do lifestyle makeover and show you what happens to you. This is part of our whole idea of doing this. Is really, we have about 5,000 members right now. And you'd be surprised how many people have sent us videos and are sending in, and I'm not really even asking people. I just sort of threw it out there a little bit. But your transformation, if you could actually share with what happened with you, spurs on hundreds of other people to be able to want to play the game. Because they see how easy. Remember, this is no diet. You don't starve yourself. You don't kill anything. You're going to live naturally if you can, and that's sometimes a big jump. What do I do? What's the first thing I do? Remember, first thing you do, if you can, clean up the mouth. Where do you get it done at? In the United States? Why did you go to Mexico?
With your buddy Dion, had a good experience, and like you were saying, at first when another talker here, Dr. Bergman, he recommended a place here. But after I heard your talk, you said that aluminum oxide is not that good, so I wanted an alternative, and they use a material called composite resin. And then if you pay a little bit more money, you get that quartz stone as well.
One of the reasons, again, is it's cheaper. It's economical. They wanted $11,000 to do my 14 mercury fillings in my mouth. Okay, actually, I didn't have mercury. I took the mercury out. I put in porcelain about 12 years ago. I thought I was smart, right, taking the stuff out. And then just about a year ago, after doing further research and finding out why I had a lot of toxicity, is because of the aluminum oxide. I'm very sensitive to chemicals. That's why I got into this stuff. So if you're not really sensitive to chemicals, then you sort of use chemicals because you don't notice them. If you're very sensitive to chemicals, then what happens is you try to get away from them because you notice right away the chemicals. So to me, I've been very sensitive with chemicals my whole life. And finding out that you're sensitive to is usually too late when you find out that you're sensitive to chemicals if you're not sensitive to them. Because 10 or 15 years of absorbing all these different chemicals denatures, demineralizes your body. Now, demineralization means that you lose the minerals in your body because the body has certain ways to be able to keep itself in what's called homeostasis. Homeostasis is where everything actually runs so you could do your life. Your blood has to stay 7.3 to 7.46. If you have an acid diet, your body has to constantly try to keep this range of blood pH. Where do you think it gets? Let's say you drink a Coca-Cola. Or let's say you drink, and it doesn't have to be Coca-Cola because we're not supposed to say that, any soda, anything that's actually a pH of 2 or 3. Doesn't matter if it's whiskey, doesn't matter if it's some of the colored drinks that you see with sugar in them, sorbitol, sucralose. What do you think your body has to do with a cup of coffee? It takes about 32 to 35 glasses of alkaline water just to neutralize 1 cup of that acid. And if it can't neutralize it, of course, because you didn't drink 32 glasses of water, how do you think it gets it neutralized? You got it. You got 3.6% of elemental calcium in your body, and most people have only maybe, once you get past 40, maybe what do they say, 40, 50% bone loss a lot of times people have. And why do you lose your calcium? It's because you have an acid diet. You may have an acid mind, stress. What did I buy? Stress. What does stress do? Give you cortisone, cortisol. It changes your whole internal physiology. It makes you huge amounts of acid. If you had a stressful day, urinate and say, whoa, why is it all bubbly and all like smelly? And it's because your body had to get this stuff out of it. Now, conversely, if you eat meat, it's huge acidic profile. Not only is the meat acidic, but the frustration of the animal that lives in the meat when you eat it, especially if you have an immune system problem, all you're doing is really adding to insult. So one of the best things I find, because a lot of people come to me and say, you know what do I do to clean my act up? What's the first thing that I do? Remineralize yourself. Get off of GMO. And if you're going to eat meat or get off of GMO, I'd say keep eating meat and get off of GMO. Huh? Why is, to me, and it's my opinion, I can't fight these big pharmaceutical companies and all these different people. All I have to do is look at the research. Do you really think that eating seedless watermelon is good for you? A regular watermelon's this big. People say, oh, I bought an organic watermelon the other day. Okay, how big was it? Oh, it was 30 pounds. That's hybridized. Oh, it was seedless too. It's GMO. It's sterile. Not only hybridized, but it's been sterilized. You are what you eat. What happens if you eat sterile foods? Your testes and your gonads, which are your immune system, forget the sexual part of it, you lose your power. If you lose your hormones, you lose your power, and the creatures that live within start to take over. That's what happens. Stage 4 cancer is a parasite that actually is wanting to eat you alive. Because realistically, you got to think, what lives inside you is your child. Isn't it not? Was it born in you? Your child maybe was born in the hospital. How about these children were born inside you? Don't you think that they have a stake to the physical body? Yes. You know what I need is I need someone maybe to help me run the PowerPoint real quick here. Just press so I don't have to. Does anybody know also what? This is a big problem that everybody has in their body. These are called calcium oxalates. This is coral. Coral is the exact same type of, pretty much like this, what's called a nanobacteria. It's not a microbacteria, it's really small. And there could be trillions of these things, trillions of them per square inch in areas that have infestations to them. How do you know you have this stuff? It hurts when you squeeze your tissues. Not only that, you bruise. Because this stuff is sharp. Feel how sharp that is. Whoa, I'll cut you. If I rub this against your face, do you think that's going to do anything but give you a scratch? So these crystals need to be broken down if you want to gain back your flexibility and a lot of your energy. How do you break these down? Very slowly. You have to get back to becoming alkaline. And that's part of what we're doing here, is to show you a different fuel source. So in about 6 weeks or so, what you can do is keep upgrading and keep changing. Now, you know it takes 21 days for you to change a habit? It takes 7 days for you to get one. What do you think a habit is, or an addiction? Does anybody know why a person smokes every couple hours and they really don't get anything out of it? Why would someone smoke what would you think? Why would someone smoke every few hours and they really don't even get anything out of it? We're just talking about tobacco. Ah, you're good. Because their microbes are feeding. Okay? So when you feed these things, then they give you back your life, don't they? And in 2 hours, they'll call you again to feed. Now, if you stop feeding them nicotine, which is a very clean fuel source, because these things eat. Do you go to the bathroom? Does everybody go to the bathroom here? Okay. Do you think that anything lives inside you? Do you think that it goes to the bathroom too? If it eats, it must poop. Okay? Simple. So this is one of the biggest toxicities that we have inside us. All these little creatures, billions of them, no matter how small they are or big, all off gas, off waste. And the tapeworm that lives in the stomach, and there's 3 types of tapeworms we're going to show you. The beef tapeworm, the fish tapeworm, and the pork tapeworm. They all grow 1 foot a year. Okay? Now, one of the big reasons being why we have a lot of problems right now is because there's a change in the energy on the planet. But there's really a change in the energy in the solar system. It's all real. You'll see. We'll just go through these really fast. But you'll see, sunspots make solar flares. We just had the biggest solar flare yesterday we did in 5 years. Anybody hear that one? Spaceweather.com every day. It's the first thing you do before you open your emails. Go check and see what Christos is doing. Christos is this thing. Christ lives on the terrain here. But this is Christos, called Amun-Ra, as the Egyptians call it. It's the sun god. And whatever this thing does, it terrain modifies. We're talking terrain modification again. This is terrain modifying all the planets. The disciples, as we call them. We live on this planet, so what do you think happens to us? We must be terrain modified to be able to match the terrain modification that's happening in the solar system. So, sunspots, you can see how this big sun sends out all these different plasma. It changes the Earth. It changes everything about who we are. How we can think, how our body navigates, how physiology really replicates. And you can see that there's been a lot of talk lately about shifting weather currents and extreme weather. More volcanoes, more hurricanes, more earthquakes. When you look up every day also, spaceweather.com, and then also look up earthchangesmedia.com, so you can see the real weather and the real news that CNN really doesn't want to, or is not showing. The second one is earthchangesmedia.com. First one is spaceweather.com. That's put out by NASA. Let's go to the next one. And as you notice, icebergs melting. Come on. Is it solar system warming or is it global warming? We've been hearing it's global warming, but we're going to show you it's solar system warming. Let's keep on going. And you can see how things are changing. Things are melting. Robin has a couple good tapes here to sort of catch you up. Has anybody heard of chemtrails? Okay, who hasn't heard of chemtrails here? Again. How many people was that again? How many? That's a majority of people. It's pretty good. I've heard of chemtrails. So maybe some of the stuff's getting out. I can't even mention the stuff to people because if not, they're looking at you weird, don't they? Now since everybody else is sort of seeing them, then it's like, I've been telling you guys about this for 10 years. Okay, now we're going through what's called solar cycle 24. You don't hear about it too much. But this is a very valid time. Look at how small the Earth is compared to the Sun. That's a pea compared to a basketball. This is a big magnet. Remember we're talking about magnets? We can change a lot of things with magnets. You can change yourself. You can manipulate things with magnetics. I better keep this away from your... It'll also manipulate your television. I'd like you also to look up NASA, the sun does a flip, because if there's new people here, you need to really find out how is my physiology going to be affected by these changes. As you can see, are there massive problems in human physiology right now? How many birds fell out of the air? Did everybody hear about that? All the birds dying? Who didn't hear about that? Okay, you got to catch up. But that's why you're here. I try to tell people, just like Robin, I try to do like 2 or 3 new tapes a month to catch up. Because if not, this stuff is overwhelming. There's so many tapes and so many things. Let's go to the next one here. I should go back real quick here, 1 sec. The reason being is solar cycle 23 went up to this peak right here. Solar cycle 24 prediction is supposed to be 50% stronger. Doesn't mean anything to anybody here. But it does. Let's go to the next one. You'll see. The sun has this coronal charge around it. This was the other day this is what the sun looked like when it went through its solar flare. Biggest one, it just happened. Actually, it just came here to the planet. You can look it up and see a lot of satellites got disrupted, a lot of changes. Let's go to the next one again, quick. Okay, this is the one that just happened the other day. The sun has unleashed the strongest flare in 4 years. Observers say the monster flare was recorded on February 15th, directed straight at the Earth according to the U.S. Space Agency. The source of this activity is sunspot 1158. Solar flares are caused by the sudden release of magnetic energy stored in the sun's atmosphere. In 1972, a geomagnetic storm provoked a solar flare, knocked out long-distance telephone communication across the United States and Illinois. In 1989, another storm plunged 6 million people into the darkness in the Canadian province of Quebec. Anybody ever hear about those? Melted all the transformers. What was in the year 2000, what was the big hic back then? Remember, Y2K. You'll see that 11.2 years ago, this was the last time that the sun did a flip. That's why I want you to look up NASA, the sun does a flip. Every 11.2 years, the sun flips its poles and goes from north to south, south to north. It goes from in-breath, it goes to out-breath. It goes to in-breath, it goes to out-breath. Now, in-breath to us means that we go inside. Out-breath means that we go from here out. You actually expand outward, and when the sun turns inward, what do you think? Everything follows nature. So what happens to us? We're supposed to go inward. Problem is our system, our society only goes outward, and we're all messed up. We don't learn how to be. All we do is learn how to do. Do, do, do. When you're done with that, I got some more for you to do. All right? Isn't that the theme here? So to learn, there is an inner purpose and an outer purpose here, and a lot of us are stuck on our outer purpose here because the system demands it so. It does. What do you do to make a living? Okay, it's a pretty harsh question here. Let's go to the next one here. It is global warming. No, it is solar system warming. Let's go to the next one here. Now, our sun travels in the galaxy, and every time it travels through certain sectors of the galaxy, the sun goes back to full breath, full magnetism, full power. Okay? Now, when that happens, we also get affected massively. Okay. We also get affected massively. We don't really think so, but we do. This is common knowledge, not at the lower levels. At the upper levels, it is a genetic harvest right now, as you can see. The sun has more power, the sun sheds more illumination, more brilliance, and all you have to do is learn how to catch it. Your DNA right now is in a state of flux, it's called. It's written in a lot of places right now. There's a lot, have you ever heard of the indigo children? This is why these superfoods are not smart, they're essential. Superfoods are upgrading your body to superfuels. Now, how your body is going to be able to digest those superfuels is terrain modification. And so we have a simple program, pretty much, to be able to try to stay in line with these changes, is to be able to upgrade your fuels, upgrade your fluids, very simple. And you have to exercise, yes you do. In order to be able to actually regrow your neural nets, you have to stress them. You ever heard of a law called Wolff's Law? Wolff's Law is a law, when you go to medical school, everything has a law. And Wolff's Law has to do with the bone. And if you put pressure on the bone, Wolff's Law says it'll go and change to the amount of structural pressure that you put on the bone, it'll change its lattice and its matrix. And if you sit in a chair all bloody day and don't do anything, what do you think it does? It says you don't need all this extra stuff, and it throws it out of you. Especially if you're drinking coffee, or if you're drinking a lot of acidic drinks, or eating a lot of denatured processed foods. So the sun, once it goes through this huge energetic band here, it lights up. You ever heard of Christos coming back to town? Could it be that the sun is going to run through this? Let's go keep going. I'll show you the stellar cloud. Here's Mars, 2001. June, September, you can see that the poles, the ice, totally changing all the time here. Go ahead and go to the next one here. Each one of the planets have massive changes. Each one. You can see Saturn has this beautiful, on the top, has a hexagon ring now. Let's go to the next one here. I'm just doing this very quickly here. Now, this is about a 6-hour presentation here, because each one of the slides have about 10 minutes to go through, so you can factually. This is on the internet too, so you could take each one of these slides and then go ahead and say, Jupiter reignited as a sun. That's right. Jupiter now is not a planet anymore. It has a lot of power. Why does it have more power? Because the sun is actually getting it more power. It's a magnet, and it's shining its illumination all to the rest of the planets. And all you have to do is go tonight, you can't see it tonight, but anytime at about 8 or 9 o'clock, and look and see the planets. Venus, Mars, Jupiter, All these planets are brighter than they ever have been. They're just planets. They're not suns. Why are they so bright? Let's go back one more time. You can see how this is like Jupiter loses one of its stripes. Is it on CNN? Britney Spears is on there. Donald Trump is on there. A lot of distractions are on there. But wouldn't you think if the solar system's changing or if the sun's going to do a flip, don't you think that'd be the first thing on the front page of the CNN and the LA Times? Hey, the sun's going to do a flip. Whoa! Okay, can I see it? Can I watch it? Yeah, it does it every 11.2 years. You can see how, look, no stripe. Stripe. Where'd it go? It's because it's changing. The energetic systems are changing. All of our DNA right now is shape-shifting and morphing into a new system. Let's go quick, next one. Chilean earthquake. Heard of that one? 8.8. Changed the axis of the Earth. The Earth now spinning faster. Okay. Heart's 23.5 degrees. You ever heard of that before? Everything runs off of nature, which means it has to run along with nature. So if the heart is 23.5 degrees, the Earth is 23.5 degrees. 71% salt water, the Earth has 71% salt water. Your skin temperature is 98.6 degrees. Skin temperature of the sun is 9,860 degrees. Their power is a 10. Everything follows this holographic dome. Okay? So you have 100 trillion cells in your body, don't you? Some people say, oh, I have 100 million. No, they're wrong. Why am I being arrogant about this? Because your chromosomes are 46 in binary sequence, aren't they? Anybody got a calculator? 0, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, and keep on doing that 46 times, and magically you come to 100 trillion. You have 46 chromosomes with 100 trillion cells. Okay? 100 trillion cells equidistant to 100 trillion stars. You can see how all this stuff works. Let's go to the next one there. Current sea levels, everything's changing right now because there's a huge flux and change. So since the Earth is changing its sea levels, well, you betcha your fluid levels are changing too, because I just talked about, we understand it now. We're a holograph. Whatever happens to the Earth happens to us. We're destroying the Earth. What do you think is happening to us? We're destroying ourselves. And sooner or later, I think that we're either, like the movie says, the Earth stood still. Remember that movie? Keanu Reeves was talking to the lady there that says, this is our planet. Saying, honey bun, this isn't your planet. Okay? And in fact, the idea is that you're destroying the planet. And we're here, just like Morpheus says in The Matrix. You guys think you're mammals. Mammals don't go from town to town destroying everything in its place and go and actually resurrect themselves in the next town and do the same thing. We call that a virus. And we're here to cure that virus. Remember that movie, The Matrix? So, next one there. The whole big picture, okay, again, here's this weird cloud that has super amount of plasma energy in it. This is why Venus is on fire. This is why Jupiter is bright as bright. This is why also when you see the Last Supper, because this has a big difference right now. If we want to regenerate and really get healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise, then we have to be in line with this stuff. If not, all you have to do is click this and you'll say, ah, I get it. That's right. Take your clothes off once a week and bow down to Christos. Get your body, full body sun. Very healthy. But before you get in the sun, because people say, oh, I burn. Well, wipe your skin clean and take off the microbes that live off the skin. So we came up with different solutions, and that's why we're doing a lot of different films that are really simple. How to clean your skin and how to protect your skin so you won't get burnt. The only reason you get burnt is because you have something living on your skin, and the UV burns what's living on your skin. And you say, oh, it burned me. No, that's what's living on you, in you, but it's not really you. So you'll catch this on here. I have about probably 100 hours of lecture time too, jumping around here in different spots, and then what I want you to do is really do more investigation. Remember, this is go to the next one. This is a next one. This is just real quick here, but you'll see there is a game here. Okay, this is to me called the Galaxy game. You'll see that these 4 constellations, these are all different guys. Saint Germain, the Pope. This is the Babylonian Sun Cross, the Mayan calendar. These are the 4 constellations we were talking about. You'll see all these different sacred orders, the Sumerian and everybody all wearing this thing called the Maltese Cross. And none of them are Maltese. See, to me, this just symbolizes basically when our sun travels through one of these 4 constellations, the sun comes back to full breath. The sun comes back to full power. Because the thing in the center here is called the galactic center. And this is this big, huge ball that runs the whole show of the galaxy. This is like the big question to ask yourself, too. Who runs the show? Big question to ask. Who runs your show? Is it a bunch of low-level parasites, yeast, mold, and fungus? Could be. Are you hungry, or are they hungry all the time? Okay, same thing. So when you get on this side of the fence, you'll find out that this machine is really sustainable. It doesn't need to eat much. It eats because of pleasure, because of the 5 senses. Boy, does that taste good. But what are you feeding? Are you feeding you, or are you feeding it, or them? Let's go to the next one there. And this is where we're crossing across this super amount of energy. Here's us right here. Look, December 500 BC. Before Christ, 2,000 years ago, supposedly, that was the last constellation. Remember, who had the guts to press a button back 2,000 years ago and say, we're starting over, 0000? That was the constellation of Pisces. We're done with this constellation. It's 2012 years, 2011 now, isn't it? Getting close to the repolarization of the sun. So now you can see, our sun traveled in about, just a couple thousand years. Every 72 years it travels 1 arc second in the galaxy. And you can see how this is where we're at right here right now. We're right here. We traveled all this way. So this is where we're at. We're at called baseline, 0 point. We're at called the peak point of the energy band. The sun doesn't travel like this. It travels in this helical, conical, spherical, and really weird, like tidy bowl. Let's go to the next one there. This is where we live in this big, huge galaxy. Look at how big the galactic core is. Okay? This thing is 4.3 light years wide. It takes 4.3 light years. It's traveling at the speed of light, not 55 miles an hour. Traveling at the speed of light just to go across its face. So we live 25,920 light years or so away from the center of the galaxy. How would I know it's 25,920 years or 20 light years? Remember, everything runs off the holographic dome. So since it does, let's just back it up real quick here. How many breaths a day do you do? How many breaths a day? 18 breaths a minute? Got a piece of paper here? You're good at calculating. 18 times 60 minutes in an hour times 24 hours in a day. Oh, you're pulling out your calculator? All right, she's good. 18 breaths times 60 times 24 is, she can verify, 25,920.
60 times what?
18 times 60 times 24. 18 breaths per minute, 60 minutes in an hour times 24 hours in a day. 25,920, right? Okay, so that's 25,920 breaths in one day. That's a lot of breathing in one day. It's a lot of work. Now, why would you think? Now, 25,920. Have you ever heard of that before? How many years does it take to... The Earth's at 23.5 degrees, right? I just talked about it. It takes 25,920 years for the Earth to make one law of the circle wobble. Exactly. We're at that point right now where we're finishing this 25,980 year or 920 year wobble. Now, in order for our sun to go around this piece, there's 12 constellations, isn't there? Each constellation is approximately 2,000 years. So you can see how we finished this constellation right now. And so now, as the Mayans say, this is the end of the 4th world, the beginning of the 5th, the Hopi. The Mayan calendar ends on December 21st, 22nd, 2012, 11/11 Universal Time. We just talked about 2 minutes ago about solar cycle 24 too. What does that have to do with it? Simple. Solar cycle 24 is also ending at the same time. So a lot of these things come together now, which only proved to you that there's some auspicious weirdness going on. Let's go to the next one here. This is how the sun moves. Spiraling, it does not go straight. It follows helical, conical, spherical, and rotational movement. And all you have to do is, if you want to really understand a lot of things about free energy, is play around with those motions, because those are how the galaxy works. And if you want to see how the galaxy works, you play with vortexes like Victor Schauberger did. Let's go to the next one here. You can see the different sizes of the planets, and the only reason we do this is to be able to show you guys, this is a game. Come on, there's 100 trillion stars in our little tiny galaxies made up of billions of other galaxies. You are not the only one in this galaxy. And if If you only think that way, it's only because ignorance is really tough a little bit. Okay? This galaxy, of course, is, remember, made of 100 trillion stars. 100 trillion stars. Those are suns. It's not even counting the planets. Shoot, Jupiter's got over 60 planets, 60 moons swimming around it. Let's go to the next one here. Actually, you know what? Look at the size. This is real quick here. Mercury to the Earth. Mercury's pretty small, right? Okay, now here's the Earth, and let's go ahead and see the Earth to, well, let's go from here. Here's the Earth, and then now you go to Earth to the Jupiter. And Jupiter, remember, is huge compared to the Earth, which is just a little tiny little pea. Now you take Jupiter, which is tiny, and you go to, you ever heard of Sirius? All the Egyptian pyramids are lined up to the Sirian star system, 8.6 light years away. Okay? Sirius has, as most solar systems do, 3 suns. Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C. And the Mayans and everybody tell you they go through a 52-year period. 52 cards of the deck, 52. Okay, this is a special. So really what we're showing you is that each system has a boss. Who runs the show? Each one has a boss. And it all goes back to the galactic center who runs the show. So when our sun now, this little tiny sun, is traveling into the galactic centers called core energy. And this is basically, nobody knows what's going to happen. If anybody tells you, they're full of it. Nobody does. They've built hundreds of underground cities around the planet right now. It's where your $4 a gallon gasoline's going. It's not going just putting in, you know. So there's, as you can look it up, defense, military, underground bunkers. Look and see. Why would anybody be building underground things? Because they don't know what's happening in the near future with the changes of the sun. I would also look up on Google too. Look up on History Channel. Put in Secrets of the Sun. Let's go to the next one here. So this is the chance right now. The reason being we're talking about this is not to scare anybody. It's just to say this is the time. It's either going to be a revelation here, where you're going to have a massive change in consciousness, or you're going to have a revolution. It's a revelation of change, or a revolution because no one wants to play anymore. Okay? Let's go to the next one. So right now you got to choose. Take the red pill or the blue pill. We came up with this Earth Shift. It's a lifestyle makeover network so everybody could actually share ideas, disciplines, concepts, and really get a little, it's like if everybody here could meet each other and come together, don't you think everybody could figure out some things that would be a little more concurrent with the group instead of everybody really trying to pull things together and not really get anything except for a lot of disinformation? Let's go to the next one here. Now this is the starting of this transformation. You can either go from here to here to here, and you don't get fat. That's just an ugly way to say things. You accumulate, lose your power, lose your minerals, and get plugged up. That's that. Different story here. Oh, I'm fat. No, you aren't. You're plugged. You have no mineral. You lost all your minerals, and you're dehydrated. Okay? Simple. So what do? We can see how this is the same person, and you can see how that's shape-shifting from a very, what we call critical factor. Critical factor on this one here means that she's more of herself than this person who's less of herself because they're full of creatures. So what do? Fight these creatures? No, you terrain modify them and they leave you just as easy as they came to you. Simple. Let's go to the next one. This is the whole game here. And this is this little chart here. You must pick and choose where you live. This is where you pick and choose where you live. I'm not going to tell you. There's no judgment here. We're all going to go up to here no matter if you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, we're all going this way. Some are going a little quicker than others. Some are coming up and changing. Some are coming up and changing. Well, since we got it here. The standard American diet is 80% of the population that live in the United States. And if you eat this diet, you will get 80% of the disease that's on this United States. 80% of the population in the United States, remember, is 15 pounds plus overweight. 30% of the population is obese. And obese, again, is not what you think it is. It's just toxicity. Plugged, demineralized, loss of power. Very easy. The standard American diet, people, which of course stands for SAD. It's what it is. I thought it was a joke at first. A friend was showing me this. Standard American diet. This is the way they do it. And if you eat this, you will, in time, get sick. This has no real nutritional value in anything. If it tastes good and it's cheap, that's this level. Now these people, some of them are getting sick, and what do they think they're doing? They're getting smarter. Some people actually are seeing some of their friends get sick, and they're either changing because of logic or they're changing because they're scared. Okay? Suffering's not fun. I know, I used to work in the hospital, and actually after a while you lose all feeling for people because you can't help them, not in the hospital. People, once you get to the hospital, remember, you're in trouble. It's like your transmission. Once you take it to the guy over there, that's it, and you've got to fix it. These people are moving into this category, which is a huge group. 80% of the population of 300 million people is a lot of people. They're not all moving, but they're getting wise. The only way they can go, you can't jump from here to here. You'll get sick. All the creatures that live in between here will not transform. All they'll do is fight. Okay? This level's going to this level. This level's going to this level. So when you get smarter, you start eating healthier foods, don't you? Okay? You start eating healthier foods. This group here says, I want to advance too, because everybody wants to advance. They start eating organic foods because they find out that the healthier foods are still contaminated. The healthier foods are still GMO, genetically modified, hybridized. The healthier foods are still wrapped in packaging that has still bisphenol A and plasticizers and different things that are leaching into your food. The healthier foods are still things that really have combinations of a lot of weird stuff, including natural flavors, as we'll get into, MSG and all the different names that they do. Remember, getting overweight is a business, wouldn't you think? Getting sick, do you think that's a business too? Of course it is. So the organic food people, they're getting smarter because organic is just the next, it's like the first level. You ran a 1K run. Great. Remember, we're wanting to go to the marathon and we're wanting to go to the triathlon. Okay? Up here is more of the triathlon area. It just means that that's what kind of fuel intake you would be eating if you really wanted to play at that level. So organic means that there's a more nutrient-dense type of food. It doesn't mean that it's non-GMO. Remember, you can have still seedless watermelon. Hybridized too. Organic goes to superfoods. Superfoods to me translates to superfuels. Your body will not uptake superfuels though. They don't like it until they transmutate themselves to be able to uptake the superior fuel. Superfoods, the next level is getting smart and only trying to eat heirloom. That will change your health overnight. Again, these are my opinions because I'm not here to fight Monsanto. I'm not here to fight all these companies that are taking away what's called the naturalistic seed. Naturalistic seed means this is the way it came. This is the way it is now. And the way it is now, if you eat it, then there's a lot of research. It's not me making this up. If there's enough research out there that's confusing, what do you think you should do? Stay away. You go to the dentist and they say, oh, the mercury fillings are no problem. And over here, we'll show you, if you haven't seen it, because remember, there's a lot of people who have been penetrated here. How many people still, right now, have any metal fillings in their mouth? And that's including porcelain or mercury. How many people?
How about silver?
That's not silver. This is the best thing. It's like having a necklace. Who has a sterling silver necklace here? Or a bracelet or a ring? Okay, let's say someone does. What is sterling silver? It's the same as you just said silver in your mouth. It is. It has some silver in it. 92.5 silver. And what's the rest of the makeup of the silver? Because silver is really soft, so is gold, so is platinum. So they add nickel. They add different things to harden it up. And these are poisonous to the body. Your skin is acid, nickel is alkaline, and baking soda and vinegar react, and you get sick. Only fools wear jewelry, as they say, because it's all toxic. This is why I'm giving you this jewelry here. You want to wear something, then at least wear something that will harmonize you and give you an advancement in momentous movement. Why do they put 21 crystals or gems in a watch? Why? They use crystals for everything if they want to keep it in harmonics. So the more we can become a crystal, like Brian was saying, the healthier you become, the more sustainable you become. You couldn't go back to eating low-dense foods if you wanted to. See, we're either carbon-based, and if you eat this level of foods right here, you're carbon-based. If you eat this level of foods, you're crystalline-based or plant-based. Down here, very dense. This is why the litmus paper down here is acid. And as you notice how we go up the pyramid, and this is the pyramid, it's called Jacob's ladder. This has to do with this exact, as you go see, the yellow goes through here and it activates an energy bracket in your body. So if you really wanted to get healthy, you'd want to activate all these energy centers, and the higher you activate them, let's say you activated this energy center here, which is basically the lowest center in the body. This center has a level of creatures that live with it. And if they live in this acid level, let me tell you, they're not creatures that are going to get along with you. Once you change these creatures, you don't kill them, you change your energy level, you change your hydration level, you change your mineral level, your conductivity level, we showed you with the light bulb. This will come full circle, you'll get it. And it makes sense, because all you have to do is change your conductivity and your body will change its tune. And changing its tune means you'll either get healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise, or you're going to go through a lot of turbulence because you're changing too quickly. It took you years to accumulate. Let's say, who has how long you had your mercury fillings? How long did you have them? And you're young. How long did you had them in your mouth?
3 years.
How long?
23 years.
You had them 23 years? No, how long have you had the fillings? 15. And how many did you have?
6.
Okay. Again, Google smoking fillings, and you'll see how one tooth, 25 years old, will leak methyl mercury. All you got to do is stimulate it. Talk, you stimulate it. How about your fluids, 98.6, stimulated with heat? How about you put the cell phone up to your head? Electrolysis, whoa, stimulate it. Brush your teeth, or you're like me, you talk a lot? Okay, what happens? You're constantly making methyl mercury by conductivity. So the conductivity that goes inside your body, when you increase the methyl mercury in your body, you're also doing the same thing. Is once you really see, again, who runs the show controlling 7 billion people when you really look at it? Is it the laws that control the people? No, it's the nervous system that controls the people. So if you know your eyes, your nose, your hearing, your mouth, and everything is an extension of your nervous system, you would see if your senses have been dumbed down. You can see if your system really is not in electrical concordance, being the nervous system, being in optimum motion. You can see how your reality has been shrank down. So who controls the nervous system really controls regeneration. Who controls the nervous system? And that's you who controls your nervous system. But who controls your nervous system? If you have this in your mouth, that controls it. If you eat the standard American diet, that controls. But it's not really, remember, again, to beat the stores. This is so you could have a lot of products under one roof and really change your life and make it easy. Because if not, walking into one of these healthier food stores is very confusing. It's the first thing my dad says. He says, "Is everything good in this store?" Just because it's a healthier food store. It's not a health food store. It's a healthier food store. And I said, no. Still probably about 90% of the things in here I don't eat. I can't. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because if I eat them, I get sick. I'm very sensitive. That's why a lot of times I got into this. Is because of the sensitivity. You really sometimes only get into things is because of something that pushes you to actually get into this direction. So my 15 years of seeing patients really woke me up after about 200,000 patient visits. That's a lot of seeing different complaints and symptoms and different things really we call a practice. You go to a doctor, remember, they don't know anything. They're just going to practice on you and most likely give you a recipe. Yeah, this is true. You're going to get a recipe, an RX, and if it doesn't work this week, come back and I'll write you another recipe. Okay, so the best recipe you can actually do for yourself is not get to the doctor. And I always make a joke about this, but if you go to the doctor, he's going to or she's going to show you their pedigrees or their degrees. MD, DC, DO, acupuncturist. But we see that you've passed your grades and you got yourself your degree, but do we really know that you know anything? How do we know that you can show us what you've learned? Is only really by the reflection of what that person's become themselves. Most of the doctors are very unhealthy. Very. Because a lot of them have stress. Okay? A lot of them are trying a lot of the pharmaceuticals that they put out because a good doctor would. Why wouldn't you? I'm going to give you this. I got to know what it does and how it feels. If not, then I'm just a quack. I got to try it all out, don't I? How do I know? What, the drug salesman behind the counter says it works? You know, there's 50 million people in the United States on Prozac, Zoloft, and Paxil, or some type of antidepressant medication. That's embarrassing. Okay, what is that all about? Is it possibly because we have a toxicity problem? Is it possibly because we've lost our minerals, so we don't have conductivity? So if we don't have conductivity, there's no way for us to really feel pleasure. Can't. If your body's only working at 10 or 20 or 30% as far as your emotions, then how could you really feel that you want to do anything? So the whole idea is, hey, let's go for a run. I don't feel like it. Why don't you? I don't feel good. Okay? That's depression. You mean physically don't feel good? No, I just don't feel good. I just don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing anything. Okay, this is a lot of people. It's like a disconnection of vitality. Okay, I've had depression. Everybody's here's had depression sooner here or there, whatever it would be. From someone stealing your car to just becoming toxic or just whatever the case may be. There's a variety of different types of these dis-eases. So we have three different categories of people that we try to work with. The first category, and all this stuff is basically, like I said, it doesn't matter where you fit in on this chain. It doesn't matter what group I'm going to talk to you about. Everybody does pretty much the same stuff. It just has to be pushed to you in a different direction to be able to make it so you can grab it. So let's say if you're the sick group, disease to ease is what you want. You have a dis-ease, okay, and you want to get ease. That's a big group here on the United States right now. 1 out of 45 children have autism. You've got a huge, huge problem with 2, 3, and 4 generations of eating GMO, demineralized, or MPK, or a combination of the 3 foods. Remember, MPK only has 3 minerals, and if you think that if you had children and you had NPK foods, and you fed your children NPK foods, and they had children, and they fed their children NPK foods, and you did that for 4 generations, anybody ever heard of a study called the Pottinger study?
Yes. The cats?
You can do it with mice. I did it with mice. I did it myself. I did it with Coca-Cola, McDonald's, hamburgers, Taco Bell. We just did them with the food, with fluoride and toothpaste, and it kills them. Okay? You know, these are just like a long time ago. I used to do a lot of experiments with mice just because they're very sort of similar like what we are. How do you make a rat or a mouse fat? Do you know? Why don't you look up on Google, put MSG/fat rats. All it takes is 1 shot. Here, you guys are all diabetic doctors. Okay, you're scientists. And you know what? You're ordering in my company rats that are fat. Because rats don't get fat unless we make them fat. People don't get fat unless we make you fat. How about that? So if you take 1 shot of monosodium glutamate, which has about 50, if you look up, alternative names for MSG. How about everything that says natural flavors on it has MSG? Remember, these guys are getting good. They're saying, no, you guys are getting too good, so we have to keep changing the names. We have to keep changing the strategy. Because we're in business to make you fat, and then we're also in business to try to get you back to health. Wait a minute, you get me sick, and then you get me healthy. Boy, that's a good business. So, the 3 different categories. One is disease to ease. Big category. The second, which is a small category, is carbon-based people to crystalline-based people. And those are a conscious group. They get that idea. Carbon-based to crystalline-based. Carbon-based to crystalline-based. This is plant-based. This is solar-based. This is not solar-based. This is actually taking inferior energy. Just think if you eat meat at this level. The cow or the animal eats the grass, which transmutes the energy and minerals back into the body. You then eat the flesh to be able to try to be able to get the energy that you want. But the problem is that it's such a low vibrational tune of energy that your body doesn't break it down. You are what you eat, and if you eat this lower vibration, this is the level of vibration you become. This is the level of activation that you get. And this is a huge problem, because all the creatures that really kill you or actually cause you suffering live in the colors of red, orange, and yellow. They live in this color band. Remember, this is a transmutation. It doesn't mean that organic foods is in the yellow. This is getting out of the red, and this is you moving up, and this is pinching or squeezing your DNA to be able to rise its vibration up. Food is one of the easiest ways with fluids to change your tune. Easiest. You are what you eat. Everything on these tables here are heirloom. There are no GMO or no hybridized. And if we really, let me tell you, the food business, Brian is one of our top salesmen for Ultimate Superfoods, is our family company also. This is our consumer side of the fence, where we sell to people directly, wholesale, which is sort of a really not well-liked way for the retail side. So our whole side of the fence here is really to find players that really want to step up after you start to really see this truth. And what happens if you see this truth? You want to go tell other people. It really spurs on the majority of the people. So you have the first group, you have disease to ease. Okay? Second group is carbon-based to crystalline. Those are conscious people. The first group are the sickies. It's a big group. Second group is a small group, which is the conscious group. Wanting to become more aware of becoming more aware of becoming more aware is the conscious group. From the unaware are unaware of being unaware. That's pretty deep. Huh? 3 rings this way, or 3 rings of density this way. The third ring is a huge group again, and this is where everybody here most likely is healthy. You go to work, you navigate every day in some degree. You're not really healthy, but you are navigating a lifestyle. Okay? So this group wants to optimize their lifestyle. They want to become more healthy. It's very simple. They're changing their lifestyle from acid to alkaline. Makes a big group. It's real simple. So the first group is disease to ease. Second group is carbon-based to crystalline. And the third is acid to alkaline. Very simple. Which group do you fit in? Are you the sick group, the conscious group, or the healthy group? That's a lot of... And each group does the same thing to get better. So if you're sick, I could care less. Doesn't matter. So what? That's just a symptom. You're demineralized. You're plugged. You have a low electrical magnetic field. These things, and it's not just one department. Remember, there's like 12 constellations, and each constellation has a different energy, vibration, and it equals this thing called consciousness. So think of there's 12 departments of healing this thing. Let's go through a couple more. We're just going to go through these sort of quick here. Consciousness is the game. To awaken within the dream is really a big idea again. To awaken within the dream. Open your hands in and out like this. How do you do that? How are you doing that? You're dreaming it, aren't you? You have no idea how to do that. Do you? Does anybody? No, you're dreaming it. As I walk, I'm only dreaming this machine. At light speed, it picks up my thoughts and it follows what I want it to do. It's called the dream world. You ever heard of this? It's called the dream world or the world of illusion. Okay? Consciousness is manipulated by some. There's many more of these, but let's just pick these departments because I don't want to overwhelm you. Sun, exercise. Each one of these things manipulate consciousness. As above, so below. And if you want to manipulate your health, you manipulate this. This is the supercomputer. This is where everything realistically needs to start from and have a more true which you can call it a direct route to really understanding that this is a multiplex system. It's not one thing that's going to help you. It's a little bit of a lot of things. So if anybody says, oh, take this and it's going to make you healthy, or use this, you know, that's not true. Sun, exercise. Okay, body fat affects consciousness. Acids affects consciousness. What kind of acids? Sulfuric acid, you know what that is? It's battery acid. If you have a drop of battery acid in your water every day, do you think that would be good for you? Okay. What does battery acid do? Well, it has to be neutralized, so how does it neutralize it? It steals the calcium out of your bone because your blood has to say 7.3 to 7.46, and hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, or acetic acids are one of the 3 biggest toxic acids in our food supply. Sulfuric acid is in your water supply. 1/4 teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate, gone. Aluminum-free sodium bicarbonate neutralizes the acid. It's in most of your bottled water. The filters will not take the acid out. The acid goes through the filters. So if anybody tells you that they're giving you bottled water that's been run through a filter, sulfuric acid does not get filtered. It's a liquid. It has to be neutralized. It's very simple chemistry. Okay? Now, demineralized. If you have these acids, what do you think happens? You lose all your calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, zinc, boron, and silicon, which are your alkalizing minerals, which is your bank account of your pocketbook of your. And if you lose these minerals, this is what happens. Demineralization, and forget about regeneration. Remember, my little light bulb, no minerals, no power, no power. Your cells can't reholograph themselves. And if your cells don't have at least 70 minus millivolts, they can't make holographic doubles. It's like a Xerox machine, getting dirtier each time that passes another copy. That's what age is. It's a bad copy, or a copy that's not perfect to the last one. And what is it? It's a loss of electrical value. There's a doctor back in the middle of the century. His name was Dr. Robert Becker. Anybody heard of him? You should read his book. It's not really printed anymore. It's called The Body Electric. Anybody ever heard of that? Very high-level book. Do you have that book? Excellent book for you to see if you can get. Body Electric. And you're going to see how you can grow fingers back, you can grow legs back, you can grow arms back. And it's not because you're so smart, it's because the body has an electrical value, and each cell is the same cell that differentiates into a new purpose by the electrical program or the architectural design by the electrical pattern that tells the cell what to do. So, Richard, right? Are you Richard? I see Richard on your shirt. Is your name Richard? Oh, you're just borrowing the jacket. Okay. So let's say Richard, you're wearing his jacket. Your heart is a cardiac muscle. You have skeletal muscle. You have striated muscle or cells. What makes the cell turn into a different cell if all the cells are the same? It's a question to ask. Who runs the show? The electrical body. The electrical body is a blueprint. And once you lose your power, once you lose that light bulb, your body can't regenerate. It can't make copies. So that's what I'm just trying to get in your brain. If you don't have minerals in your body, and you're not really understanding some of these things, then forget it. Quit wasting your time trying to regenerate. Quit wasting your time trying to get healthy, because it is a waste of time. And I don't like people to waste their time. That's why I'm here. Really, to show you. I'm just a student, like I said, and I'm only showing you a line of efficacy. And this efficacy can only be learned on your side by experimenting with its truth. And I know, Brian, you know, Julia, you know, Sylvia, you know, that if you change your diet system and you have turbulence, it's because you're not doing it right. This is a terrain modification. And we know if you actually terrain modify yourself, can you go back to the way you used to be? There's no way. Julia, can you go back? And if you really look back, there's no judgment here. Everyone does what they want to do. I can look back at myself and say, whoa, I've lost 35 pounds of baggage. Okay? inside me. And I still, I mean, I feel pretty lean. Okay? This thing's pretty, okay? So I lost 30, put my clothes off here now. So I've lost like 35 pounds of baggage by changing my profile. I sleep grounded at night. Do you have grounding blankets? Very smart to ground yourself. I wear crystal. Why? Because it gets rid of a lot of my karma. I'm trying to clean myself daily. It's like press reset every day instead of build and accumulate. I wear a meteorite, and you can get them all you want for free. I don't want to hear it. Can't afford it. Whoops. Here, I got too many clothes on in here. But there's a meteorite I wear under here, and it's oh, I got too many magnets here. But you can see this thing pulls from the side. Now this is same magnetic rock. You get a voltmeter. Why would you want to sleep with a rock like this? Because this rock loves you. It gives you power. It gives you trickle charge, like putting a trickle charge battery charger on your car. Now I had somebody at the break ask me a question. Mixed validity. And I sometimes try to really, if there's mechanics here in the audience, you'll really understand this, but everybody that owns a car has a battery in their car, right? Your battery is made out of acid, isn't it? It's made out of sulfuric acid, battery acid, and if you put tap water in your battery, they always say never use tap water, because tap water is alkaline, somewhat, like 7.5. And you'll dilute the acid and your battery will die because it won't be able to hold charge. Okay, now let's switch over. Everything's a harmonic. We are a DC current battery, and our battery is the alkaline top battery. It's the Duracell battery. You ever heard of the copper top battery? Copper and zinc, alkaline and acid together makes energy, doesn't it? Vinegar and baking soda make reactions. So, see, without getting confused, all you're really trying to do is be more of a magnet. And the only reason why you'd want to become more of a magnet, because I wanted to just brush together with the solar system stuff. The sun is commanding all of us to become more magnetic. Our DNA, there's a guy named Drumvalo Melchizedek. You ever heard of him? Okay, Robin has, you have, sure. Okay. Writes lots of books. He's sort of like a mystic, he wrote this book here called The Flower of Life. Excellent book for you to get. Secret Flower of Life 1 and 2. And about 10 years ago he was saying as our sun gets more power. I couldn't get this a long time ago, you know, because we're all waking up a little bit at a time, and it takes a while for you to be able to see the cosmic stuff. As our sun gets more power, as it is, it's 400 times brighter than it ever has been. Do you think that possibly the chemtrails is to possibly block out some of the photonic light to the planet? Huh? Shade cloth the planet? Maybe slow it down from doing its duty of transmuting itself to a higher tune? Okay? The planet is reaching its 13 cycle stargate. You'll see on the dollar bill. Anybody got a dollar bill? You pull it out. And what does it have? It has a pyramid on there. And if you count the pyramid stairs, you'll see it has 13 stairs. 13 stairs on a pyramid with this all-seeing eye at the top. Right? And you see this bird. It's standing there and it's holding 13 arrows, 13 leaves, and 13 stars over its head. What the heck is this 13? 0, 0, 1, 1, or 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. You get these numbers by adding the last two numbers up to get the next one. It's called Fibonacci. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. We're going to the 13th stargate right now. This is the next level of planetary ascension. And we, at this time, ascend or incend with the planet. Or we leave it. One of the two. You either grow with it, as a lot of people right now are not growing with it. Remember, it's the red pill or the blue pill. Everybody in here has to make a choice. You either don't care, it's okay. Don't worry, you'll come back and get another body. Remember, it's a game. How many bodies do you think you have? Had. I mean, how'd you get one? It was a sort of a weird game, isn't it? You just woke up one day and you popped out of mama, they named you a certain name, and now it's time to be able to see if you can get back your memory. If not, you come back again, you don't know how to do anything, and you start out with a zero blanked memory. The mind only knows what it knows, teach it what it doesn't know, and it's got a lot of problems. Now, dentals, heavy metals, cellular phones to the head. Again, conductivity is everything here. You can see how this is very simple, but then again, it's a fractalized system. You want to get healthy? Sun, exercise, trim this stuff down. It's a creature. It lives in acid. And acid demineralizes you. The dentals makes you so all the stuff that you're trying to do is sort of like a race for nothing. Because the nervous system has to be rebuilt. And if methylmercury is in there, the nervous system won't rebuild. So when we get on this side, all of this stuff makes an electrical magnetic field. And if you've got a low electromagnetic field, you got parasites. Yes, you do. And oxygen, that's why we have a lot of these oxygen supplying things you'd put in your water to supply your body with a little more oxygen so you can slowly bend your oxygen level up. So you can slowly change your level of nutrition. These are all greens, blue-green algae, chlorella, spirulina. These are the magical greens. Magical. You want to get healthy? You eat green. Now, lymph system. Has anybody heard of the lymph system before? Does the lymph system have more fluid than the blood system, or does the blood system have more fluid than the lymph system? Okay. Got some that was right, but how much more is it? Is it 1 time as much as the blood? Blood's about 5 liters. Is it 2 times as much? Or is it up to almost 3 times as much fluid as the blood? So let's just say it's like 2 to 3 times, twice as much to 3 times as much. Wouldn't you think, and I went to a lot of medical school, a lot of schooling, they don't teach you about the lymph. And in fact, the one who was teaching us about the lymph system and the toxicology system, they were the doctors and they were toxic themselves. So how could they teach us anything about the lymph system or the toxicity system? The lymph system is the most important thing for you to clean up. This is where all the creatures live. These are where the badass creatures live. Black mold. So how do you get rid of these things? You don't. Unless you open up the system so it can get flow. Part of the flow is oxygen, part of the flow is water, part of the flow is food. This is a definition out of Wikipedia, state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. Consciousness? Wait a minute. Let's go to the next one there. And then what we do now is understand that just because you think you're living in an oxygenated area, go to Hawaii and notice the people. Why do they look so unhealthy there? They're living in a place that's got beautiful oxygen, all this fresh air and all this stuff. Why do a lot of people over there not look so healthy? Because the acid from the volcano is kicking their rear end. Sulfuric acid. How about if you live in the city? You don't live on the big island of Hawaii, you live in Hawaii, but you live in Los Angeles. How about that sulfuric acid? Low sulfur in your car is because sulfur mixes with acid and makes sulfuric acid, and if you breathe it, oh my gosh, does it work you? Body gets stiff with sulfuric acid. All see, the number one disease again is dehydration, and this is what you get in your brain sand, kidney stones, gallstones, your muscles hurt. It's because you got myofasciitis, or this stuff called, what do they call the muscles that get sore? Fibromyalgia. What do you think it is? Crystals. So you can see this is very simple. And once you get it, because people say, what do I do? You got to get it first. Once you get it, then you get it. Then you'll do it. If not, just pushing you down the road again, and all of a sudden next week you just go back to the way you were because you didn't get it. Let's go to the next one there. Sun versus no sun. Hey, it's pretty cool to wear the sunglasses, isn't it? And if you wear sunglasses, all you have to do is buy an ECG, electrocardiogram, excuse me, an EEG, electroencephalogram. This checks the brain waves. Okay? Electrocardiogram corrects the electrical system here. But there is a reason why you would not want to wear sunglasses. What would it be? You're building... What's that?
Prevents the light from hitting the pineal gland.
One of the big reasons, you bet. That's an advanced reason. What would be a very simple reason why you wouldn't want to wear glasses? Because 50% of the people over 40 years old have black mold in their intestinal tract, and that's not... What's black mold? Look it up. Leaky gut syndrome. 50% of the people 40 years old in this room have leaky gut syndrome. And that might be even less than what you think. Might be more than 50%. And what's leaky gut syndrome? The mouth to the rear end has 40 feet of tube that lives inside the body, but it's actually outside. It's inside, but it's a tube that's outside. Remember, it's the mouth to here. It's a tube. It's not inside your body. It is outside your body. This is what lets things inside your body. And if you have black mold, it's plugged that whole intestinal tract up, and that's why people that really are eating foods that are demineralized and not really have the minerals and so forth, after about 6 months to 2 years, the whole intestinal tract is plugged. You can't get any nutrition because it's plugged. And so who do you think you're giving nutrition to? The creatures. See, you're good. Creatures. The sunglasses, your body runs on vibration, and the sunglasses keeps you in the dark. Can you see in the dark? Why would you want to shield yourself from the sun? You're a light being. You can't see too well because you've trained yourself to live in the dark. Go to a third world country and notice that sunglasses aren't even to be talked about. No one's even seen sunglasses in the places that are poor. You don't see the children wearing sunglasses, do you? But if you give this little guy here sunglasses for a month and let him wear them every day, he'll have to wear them. I can't see, Mom. That's right, because you got black mold now.
What about the idea of protecting your eyes from the ultraviolet rays of the sun? So, you know, that's what people wear sunglasses supposedly, so they... That's what I've been told.
First of all, the vibration that you are is the absorption. Here's a battery on the table. We're charging it with charge. We're charging it for 10 hours, like a normal battery on chick will charge. But it won't take charge. This is an acid battery. We put alkaline minerals in it and we destroyed it because it only will hold an acid charge. Our bodies are alkaline by nature. They are not acid waste dumps. So once we lose our alkalinity, we're like the battery that lost its acidity. It's an opposite system though. This battery has to stay acid in order to keep charged in your car. Our body's battery on this side has to stay alkaline. And if you get acid in it, or it loses its oxygen level, or it loses its mineral level, then you can't keep charge and you can't regenerate. So this is a 10, 15, 20 year slow kill. And a lot of people say, well, how do I do it today? First thing is hydrate yourself. Body needs 8 to 12 glasses of mineralized solutions a day. I use 4 solutions. Kombucha is very smart for you to make your own. You don't have to buy it, grow it yourself for free. You don't know how to do it? We have a video on showing people how to do it. You can actually just buy one of the kombucha bottles. That's your base. And make it yourself. Look it up, how to make kombucha. Huh? I use the yerba mate tea to use it, wherever it's on here. Yeah, right over here. I use this yerba mate tea, smoke-free, and this is really good. Who drinks coffee here? Okay. Why do you drink it? Because you like the like the kick. How about this got a lot more kick than that?
Oh, yeah.
And this is much better for you than that. And it doesn't take 32 glasses of water to be able to break one little cup of coffee down. And if coffee is acid, it may take 50 glasses of water. And cheap coffee is very highly acid. So you can neutralize it though. We have some coral minerals. You put in a half a spoon, mix it in there, and you can take out like 2 or 3 pHs, and you can change the acidity of your coffee massively, or you can change your beverage. Is that?
I was just going to say, you keep saying 32 glasses of alkaline water, but remember to say that it takes 10 glasses to equal 1 glass.
Oh yeah, exactly. See, the way this works is the pH works on a power of 10 scale. The difference between like a earthquake between a 2 and a 3 is how much? 10 times. The difference between 2 and a 4 is 10 to the second power. 100 times. The difference between 2 and 4, or 2 and 5, 3, 10 to the third power, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. Powers of 10, just like nature works. That's why they do it. Remember 98.6, power of 10, 9,860. Sun. Same thing, it's a holograph. So, back me up, what was I just saying? Because I want to.
You're just trying to get rid of the poison in your system. It's actually 320 less in water to get your system.
Oh yeah, so let's say you wanted to really clean this machine up. We'd want you to get on an alkaline, high nutrient dense diet. And one of the easiest ways for you to do that is start to drink an alkaline solution, hydrational solutions. That's the easiest thing. The difference between a pH of 7 versus a pH of 10 is the difference between drinking 1 glass of a pH of 10 water versus if it's 10 to the third power, how many glasses would you have to drink of a pH of 7? 1,000. So why aren't you drinking a pH of 10 water? At first you're going to sit on the toilet half the day because you're full of acid. And you'll feel the acid coming out, let me tell you. You go, whoa, where's that coming from? Enough to burn your, you know what? This is a very toxic, you call it the sewage pit down there. When's the last time you cleaned your sewage pit? Very smart also, you'll see that if you look up a Dr. Simoncelli, or Simoncelli. How do you say his name? He's an Italian oncologist. Look him up. Very genius man. Using sodium bicarbonate, aluminum-free solutions to be able to kill any cancer there is because it can't live in a sodium bicarbonate solution or an alkalized sodium. Take a tumor this big and in 3 days with 6% sodium bicarbonate, shrink it to nothing. Okay, it's very simple. So what do you use sodium bicarbonate for? I use it for many things. Sodium bicarbonate, aluminum free, $2. Can't make money with it, but it certainly will go ahead and help your body inside and out. This will neutralize massively. Take a tablespoon of this and give yourself an enema and see what happens. Take out, a tablespoon, start out with about a teaspoon. This is no, it's actually an enema. You'd learn how to hold about 10 ounces of this sodium bicarbonate, aluminum. It has to be aluminum free because most of the baking sodas have aluminum in them. Teaspoon to start with. See how it is. You want to try to hold about 10 ounces if you can and stay next to the toilet because you won't be walking away too quick. And if you do, you may have an accident like I've had. And until your sewage pit gets clean, you wouldn't believe what lurks inside because it's all full of tar. So if you eat any meat, what happens is that the meat can't be broken down, and it's really dense at this level. Think of everything's vibration. So I brought these tuning forks. Oops. And watch this here. What do you hear? Whoa. Nah, you're laughing, but everybody else can't hear it. Okay, we can tune the mind with certain frequencies, very simple, because this is cosmic law. The highest tune tunes the lowest tune. All you got to do is get tuning forks. If I tune this tune and this one here, and this was a higher tune than this one will bring this one up to this one. It's just the way it works. Okay, so you can see once you get your body's cells in a harmonic 51% critical factor changing its tune, that's why you're doing this. You're changing your tune. You're changing your electrical profile by exchanging your minerals and by playing around with tunes. Now, you ever heard of Merlin? The master of illusion? What was his tuning fork made out of? Hollywood, wasn't it? What's Hollywood? The master of illusion. They make all the movies. Even you go to China and you say Hollywood, they go, I know where that's at. Huh? No matter where you go, everybody knows Hollywood. This is, as you can see, what does it say on the back right there? Those little numbers.
33.6.
33.6. What would that mean? People say 33. They know that 33 is on a lot of numbers. 33 is a very special number. How many feet does it take to make 1 atmosphere? Any? See, you're good. 14.7 pounds every 33 feet. This is how they figured this out. 33. But why are you using 33? And it's 14.7 pounds. Why don't you just use 30 feet? And we'll just go ahead and get it from there. How about 33 longitudinal, 33 latitudinal on the Paris meridian, not the Greenwich meridian. Where does it give you on the globe? Geometry. It goes right to Jerusalem. 33.333 all the way around the rest of the planet goes right to Roswell, New Mexico, where they had this supposedly 1947 interdimensional interlude. And then you come around 33.333 and go around the rest of the planet, and you'll see that there's lots of places that line up on this very special point. So your brain, the most advantage, this is real quick here. Let's explain this, because if not you get lost. Your brain has a speed limit. It goes from 0 cycles per second to 40. That's the speed limit. Okay, it's like a governor on a go-kart. So if we wanted to control them, we don't want them to know that we're controlling them, because otherwise you won't like it. So it's got to be invisible. And remember, how do we control billions of people? We control this. We control the box. Not this, not laws, not rules. How about control this? Dumb you down. Keep you in these low vibrations that are really slow. So 0 to 4 is delta. You sleep. You ever heard of that before? 0 to 4 cycles per second. And a cycle is 1 sine wave, up and down. It's 1 complete motion. Everything follows the sine wave, too, just to let you know. The S, sine wave. Okay? Now, 0 to 4 is delta, 5 to 8 is theta. Theta is reset. Theta is what we call, well, we'll get to it here, and you'll see. Theta is a very special area that we all really have a very strong relationship with. You'll see, I'll explain this in a second. So 0 to 4 is delta, you sleep. Everybody sleeps. 5 to 8 is theta, it's reset. If you don't reset, you get sick. Reset your computer, you reset your systems, reset. Computer doesn't work right, what do? You shut it down and reset the thing and start it over. The next level is called alpha. So it goes delta, theta, alpha. Does anybody know what alpha is? 9 to 15 cycles per second. Remember, they're all cycles. 0 to 4 was delta, you sleep. 5 to 8 is reset. Okay, theta. 9 to 15 is alpha, creativity. And now let's go where all the business is. Let's go into beta. Beta is where the power is. Okay? And the best power is 33. It's when the left and the right side of the brain become one. Very simple. All you have to do is get the same thing again. EEG, ECG, check out the waves. 0 to 4 is sleeping. Let's say we wanted to check what orgasm does. What is orgasm? It's a reset. It's a change of energy, or a loss of energy, or some type of a transmutation of energy. So what happens when you have an orgasm? What does the machine say? It says 666. 6.66 cycles. That's orgasm. Called breed, my children. Now there's a system here. We think 666 is evil? Come on. Okay? It's sexual. That's what it is. 666. 6 is 6.66 cycles, and it's at the lower chakra. 7 cycles is right here. 8 cycles is the heart. Unless you get the glasses off, you can't get past 8. It's impossible to get past 8 cycles. You can't. How could you wear sunglasses and think that this machine could absorb light at 8 cycles if you can't even get out in the sun and your eyes drip in the sun? It's fighting. So one of the ways I try to really tune myself is not look in the sun. That's very dangerous. If you've got black mold, you're just going to lose your vision. You're going to lose your fine touch. You won't be able to read. Okay, and I've lost some of my vision by playing around, experimenting. Got most of it back. But that's what we do. We all experiment. Just don't experiment too crazy. Okay, so my whole life's an experiment. Your life an experiment? Every day. Your life an experiment? Of course it is. You even wrote a book. She wrote a great book too, Julia. Her book is really to have fun and having really these fine foods and making some fun out of combining different things together to make an exquisite combination of flavors. So she has a really cool book she put together, and right there, she just got it. Yeah,
Yes.
we saw those on the internet too. Same thing.
It's a gift, it's a true gift. What's it called? It's called Sweet and Raw Pie Mandelas by Julia Cordell. Facebook.
Okay, so to hit the brain waves home, how much electricity do we have flowing in this room? How many cycles is that electricity up there? How much?
110? 60 hertz.
60 hertz. 110 volt. 60 cycles. That means it goes 60 times within 1 second. Okay? Up, down is 1 cycle. 1 sine wave or 1 hertz. It's all the same. Hertz, sine wave, cycles per second. These things flicker. If you slow them down, they go, it's like, Jesus. Okay, can you feel them? If you look up there, you can feel them. They're flickering. Or if it's cold, you'll see the whole room flickers until it catches itself up to 60 cycles because we can't see it. So your brain under 60 cycle electricity causes you to get really dumb because it takes you out of the 0 to 40 range. You're out of the speed limit. 60 cycles makes us dumb. Non-telepathic. You were talking about how to become telepathic? It's not certainly in 60 cycles of electricity. There's nothing there. So the 4 different stages again. 0 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 15, and 15 to 40. And these 4 different cycles are really smart to understand because once you understand this, then you're going to want to manipulate your energy profile. And it's very simple to do. It's not some diet. It's not, it's just basically it's making your body more conductive and get rid of some of the things that makes it less conductive. Okay, boy, that was hard. Okay, let's go to the next one there. Do you have the sickness? Do you have the sickness? This is an ugly question to ask. We all have the sickness. What level we have is a different story. And sickness to us is not being optimum in physiology and being sustainable internally and externally. And these are all just different things that are actually causing us to group up like 1 out of 50 children have autism, 30% of the U.S. is obese, and we went over some of these things. Very simple. Let's go to the next one here. That's when you're talking about the silver. This is probably the number one toxicity if we wanted to remove it. And you may not be able to remove it right now, but you have to remove it when you really get down to the ideas. You want to get healthy? Then you have to clean this up. You may not be able to do it now because it may cost you some money. Dr. Javier Morales, there's a couple of different guys. I used Javier Morales. How did you feel when you went to him?
Well, he did a good job, but he's assistant.
Which guy?
Huh?
Which guy was that?
Oh, bigger guy.
Oh, Edgar?
I don't know.
Yeah, the big guy? Edgar. He's a short, big guy.
Yeah. I don't like him too much because I used to think I had good hands and feel him like sawing it off. But Dr. Javier Morales.
Yeah, no, I like Javier myself because he's been, he's a special guy. He's a nice guy. And what you're really trying to do is just try to find somebody to replace these. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Replace these fillings and put in some type of material that's not replacing it with another toxicity. What a waste of time. You go to the doctor, first you get scammed in putting mercury fillings in. Then you go to the doctor again and he scams you and puts porcelain in or composites, which is plastic. Then you get really ticked off and you want to switch them again like I was, and it's $11,000 to get the stuff you just put in me. Out! And put in something that would be composite, it would be they wanted to put in cubic zirconia because they don't know how to use the crystals. And they wanted $11,000. And I have insurance. That's up and above because my insurance won't pay for it because it's a selective cosmetic. Oh, sure, we'll put the mercury ones back in. Hey, we'll take those plastic ones out and we'll put the silver ones back in and it's free. Okay, sure, let's try that. Let's try the next one there. This is the reason being why you want to hybridize yourself. Look, everything we're talking about is very simple. Because we've made this, and Brian, you know this, okay? Brian's been with this really selective, trying to round out as many products as we can to make it so you can make really easy movements and decisions to go up the ladder here. And it's not easy to be able, you got to get your greens. You got to have, look at shredded. We don't sell things in 2-ounce or, you know, just little tiny sizes. We sell them into 30-pound packages. You're here to buy, get a deal on stuff. This is shredded coconut, 2 tablespoons a day minimum. This is the oils that your body needs. I take, in 1 month, I eat this whole thing myself. This is coconut oil. Hey? You want to get healthy? You need fat. What kind of fat? Okay, let's say your liver. Every 2 months, it takes 10 pounds of this type of fat to regenerate. Did you get your fat? Oh no, I'm on a fat-free diet. I used to be too, because I was hoodwinked by the authorities. Okay, and once you sort of figure out a little bit, you're so demineralized now because fat is the #1 fuel. Sugar's poison. Remember that. Fat is energy. Now, can you break down fat to make it a premium source of energy? Fat has 9 calories per gram. It has a heck of a lot more power than protein only has 4, sugar only has 4, alcohol has 7 though. And if you drink alcohol with your food, it's not good. Any alcohol that you drink, I wouldn't recommend having anything with food ever, because alcohol cuts off the flow of digestion. Also, I brought these crystals here too. Grab one of these, free. I want you to put this in your glass of water. This is going to change the water that you drink immediately. Do you have the book Emoto with the crystals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two shelves over.
2 shelves over. Well, wherever it is. The Emoto will show you. Look, you want to become a crystal. If you think love, the water turns into a crystal. And if you think anything that's negative, it loses its crystal, because energy has form. So if you think negative, and this world has a disease of negativity on it, this is the level of disease, stress, like he was saying. There we go. The hidden messages of water. Do you think that you have the power to be able to, if you really think that if you could hold water in your hand and change its structure, do you think if you're stressed out every day, demineralized, dehydrated, it's not going to cause you a dis-ease? Because you don't have the crystal formation. Okay, remember, crystals make energy. So put one of these amethyst crystals in your water, and the way I drink water, because water is very important. One thing is really important, is to learn how to hydrate yourself. I didn't bring my glass, but what I usually do is, and I'll show you in my pocket here. I take a crystal, which you have one right here, and I take this meteor or lodestone, or what's called an ether stone. Not a magnet, because this is like a miniature earth. And you can see how this is very powerful magnetically. But it will not grab, it's not magnetic itself. Okay? So, what I do is I take both of these and I put them in my glass and I pour my water in there, and immediately my water turns into a crystal, because this crystal tunes, it's all oxygen and silicon, it tunes everything it touches, and this structures it. So now when I drink my water, I drink 16 ounces of water at one sitting, one time, just straight down. Don't stop until you just keep going. Bink, 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 bink. I wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum, I drink another 16 ounces of water. I wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum, and I drink another one. That's one drinking. You want to get clean? Then you hydrate yourself. 1 glass of water is a waste of time. That's just bringing you up to the dipstick to say, I can see the oil now. Okay? Another glass of water brings it up to normal level on the dipstick. You want to clean yourself? Drink some more. A little in, a little out, isn't it? Okay? So now you're above the dipstick, and what does your body do? It says, oh my God, we got too much water. Psst. Oops, sorry. And it gets out its toxicity, brings its level down, and then you know how to play the game when you drink more water again. But water by itself is toxic. H2O is toxic. Salt by itself, sodium chloride, is toxic. You need sodium chloride with the minerals. You need water with the minerals, otherwise it's dead. And if you eat dead water, like reverse osmosis water, distilled water, that is not smart to drink. You drink it, it's dead. If you can get that light bulb that I have to go ahead and light up, then I'll drink it. You don't drink water that doesn't light the bulb. End of story. Simple. So once you get that down, you just want to drink energized, like Rob was saying, you drink energized electrolyte water so you can become more conductive, so your body can fix itself. And this master, this intelligence that lives inside you, now can take control of you. Instead of you thinking that you're going to fix yourself, don't be arrogant, like I said. You can't. This, here, let me cut you. Did you fix yourself? No, you put a Band-Aid on it. Oh, you covered it up, but it fixed you. It's an intelligence behind the system. Okay? Let's go, actually, GMO rat studies. Here's a perfect example. Same group. I guess those are rats. I'm not sure. That's a rat, yeah. Same group, meaning that this is of the same brood. Same age. One was fed GMO. Shot, normal tomato. Whoa, daddy-o. Okay? This tomato will not reproduce itself either because it's incomplete. It doesn't have the seeds. You don't eat anything that's incomplete because then you become incomplete and you will not be able to regenerate yourself. And most of the reason why anybody wants to listen to anybody is you either want to get healthy, remember the acid to alkaline, you're either part of the sickies, the disease to the ease, and all you want to do is just get ease, you don't care about anything else, or you're the conscious group, you're already healthy, you're already advancing, you already get this idea, and now you're really trying to become more human, more aware. And that's a whole different picture. But you can see that this is ridiculous to see. You are what you eat, this is normal, and this is a dwarf. So you see a lot of the children right now being born, a lot of them are sterile. Feed your children GMO. Go ahead. You know what happens to them? Just exactly what happens to the rat sterilities. It's all the same. GMO, to me, doesn't stop at the food. You eat this, what it does is it alters your DNA too, because it just alters DNA. So it's not too smart to eat things that have not come from the source. I call the singularity. This is a incomplete food. And it's incomplete, which means that you become incomplete at the same time. It's just what it is. It holographs the same. Let's go to the next one. Rats become addicted to junk foods just like humans. These are all real studies. The fat rat. Okay? What is it? It's the microbes inside, like a guy outside smoking a cigarette. He's not smoking, they're smoking. They're feeding. And then once you stop feeding these things, guess what happens? That person gains 10 pounds in a month, don't they? Why? Because the microbes that are inside there tell you now to feed it sugar. And the fuel is bad fuel, so it's like cheap fuel in your car and it kicks out exhaust, like when you go to Mexico over there and they put the cheap fuel and all the cars smell weird. Okay? This is the fuel if you put in your body. If you put cheap fuel in your car gets buildup and it needs what? A tune-up. If you put cheap fuel in this vehicle, then you need a tune-up too. The problem is our tune-ups are a problem because we get calcified. Oxalate poisoning. That's the huge... I always say, and a lot of people say, hey Robert, that's not cool to say. Well, it's true. If you really, really, really want to play this game, if you're over 30 years old, you have to do it full time. It's a DNA transformation. If you're between 18 and 30, you're a piece of cake. Body's still pretty clean. It hasn't been denatured, demineralized. It hasn't learned how to live with weird foods for 10 or 15 years. So the younger you are, as the tree You can bend the tree, its twig, when it's young, but when it gets older, it's a little more difficult. So for me, I'm 50. I had to do this full time. I got into an auto accident. I got into a massive car accident. Broke my nose, my cheek. I broke my hand, pulled my nerve off my elbow, my shoulder, herniated 2 discs in my back, really bad, cracked 3 costal cartilage ribs here. So I was really, really searching to get I was one of the sickies. I wanted to get from dis-ease to ease. I don't care about anything else. Conscious and all that stuff is bull. I just want to feel better. Especially when you can't walk straight and you walk like this for 3 years, you're all crooked. And I was, practicing seeing patients, 30, 40, 50 people a day, and all of a sudden you get into an accident and that's it. You've got a hand in a cast for 6 months, got a broken nose with 2 surgeries, my nose is still crooked, and I went through massive searching. So let's say if someone has a disease here, aren't you in massive searching? Okay. So this was my disease at that time. I had a physiological breakdown, and after that you get physiological depression too. Because now you can't do anything. Your whole system backs up. And it was, for me, just like for most people, it's the epiphany. Now what are you going to do to regain back your health? That's all that matters to you. It's all that matters to you. You're a billionaire, let's say. You're a billionaire. And now you've got this weird disease. You give all your money up, everything you've got, everything you've got to just get back your health, wouldn't you? You care less. So, on the other hand, let's say this young guy, he's going to do everything in his possible if he's a normal guy to try to get his wealth. And in time, he's going to spend all his money to try to get back his health. What a circle. Yeah, it's a little insanity. Let's go to the next one here now. Oh, actually, no, go back. Did you guys read this? In a fascinating new study, rats are found to react to junk food in the same ways that humans do. They become addicted and they become obese and can simply not go back to healthy food, from the article describing the new findings. Why? Because the creatures inside the body, they are the ones in control. Once you lose 51% of who you are, once you lose 51% of who you are, they are in control. Are you hungry or are they hungry? Are you hungry or are you thirsty? You're not hungry, you're thirsty. So next time you guys are hungry, you're not. Okay? You're thirsty. I want you to drink a big glass of water, mineralized water, and you say, Mom, I'm not hungry anymore. Because you weren't hungry. You have a thirst. And you didn't know because there's no manual on how to work this thing and how it's supposed to feel. So we're all, I don't like to use the word perverted from a young age, but we've all been bent in a direction that doesn't really make sense. And sometimes when we figure it out, it's a lot of backpedaling. I had to unlearn just about everything I learned from the system that I went ahead and spent lots of money to try to learn. Going to medical school, going to all these different schools, and learning nothing. Nothing. Because if we were learning something, then we would understand that the body is a machine. And it's very simple if you keep it maintained like your car. Oh, sure thing. Let your car fall apart and try to fix it. That's not too smart. You got another vehicle, another body in your closet or in your garage? Your car smashes, what do? You say, I'm going to drive the other car. I'll be back. This machine breaks. There's no spare parts really for it. But really, the idea is, see, once you understand that your body is really a machine, and all it needs is electricity. Because without electricity, those lamps don't light the light bulb. Let's go to the next one. Okay, how could anybody get this big?
Eating a lot.
How about they're not eating a lot, they're getting nothing. That guy right there and these 2 kids, they're getting nothing. You know who's feeding? All that stuff. All those parasites, yeast, mold, and fungus. If you eat wheat, corn, and soy, you get yeast, mold, and fungus. It's a little song I put together.
How do you measure your level of toxicity?
Well, you can do it a variety of ways. Take your clothes off and do a visual in the mirror. And anything that you see over there where your skin is just paper thin, it's 7 layers, let's say, thick. It's very thin, a millimeter thick. Below that is the balloon called the lymph system. Remember, 3 times the amount of the value of the blood system. This is where the creatures live. This is where the pollution most likely is modulating all the internal structure. So the lymph system is the master filter. It's what it is. It's the master filter. So what do we do to keep it clean? So this is why we have all these different types of, have you ever heard of this? Metacardium, ethylene, diamine, tetracetic acid in the magnesium dipotassium form. Oh, does this work? What does it do? Exactly. What does it do? It binds to calcium, it binds to things that you're trying to get out of your body. Chelating means to clot, to grab it. Aluminum. First thing to take out of this is lead. Look up the studies. Magnesium dipotassium, EDTA, and just put in, does it take out antimony? Click. There's thousands and thousands of studies on this stuff. I don't go for the zeolite stuff. Until they show me the clinical studies, bull, BS. I don't go for it. I mean, I'm a clinical scientist, basically, and unless you can sort of show me something to give it some type of physicality or proof, then really I'm not saying it's not true, it's just that I don't see it yet. So EDTA is a very proven way. I've taken about 2, 4, 6, I've taken 8, 9 pounds of ethylene diamine tetracetic acid, and if you read the label on it, you'll see that it'll give you cancer. It says right on the label, it's 2 labels. First one says, if you take this product in the state of California, it's known to give cancer. Look it up and see, EDTA. EDTA is in all your food. It's in your salad dressings. Why are they putting EDTA in your food? If it says right here, it's going to give you cancer. Okay, it's not the EDTA that gives you cancer. The EDTA is going to melt that stuff in your mouth. It's going to melt the back of your nickel watch that you're wearing. Who's wearing watches? What's the back of that watch? What is nickel? Super poison. Super poison. What comes out of the fuel in your car? They took the lead out in the 70s, right? Hippies were all, get that lead out! Okay, great. Your car doesn't run unless it has lubricity. What's lubricity? Lubrication. Gasoline is dry. So if they took out the lead, which was lubrication, lubricity, what do you think they replaced it with? You guys complained a lot about the lead. This is the system lords. They give us the fuel, they give us the food, they give us the power. Okay? So what do you think they put in? What's on the back of that watch? Nickel poisoning. Don't smell the smog. It's not so good. Living in the city, not so good. Why? Because you're breathing a bunch of toxicity all the time. So what do? You have to live on some form of a detoxification diet. This is the reason I drink the blue-green algae. This is the reason I drink all these fluids. This is the reason I use magnesium. These are the reasons being is because it's constantly swiping a little swath of garbage away from me. I used to send my pee-pee into the lab, okay? And I used to prove, because I wanted to prove to me. I want to see that this is true, that this is stuff that I'm taking is taking out things out of my body. So I know that it is. So I found out you can take these suppositories, you can go to the doctor and get EDTA chelation, it's $500 a treatment. You can drink it if you'd like, but once it hits the stomach acid, you lose about 60 to 70% of its effectiveness, or you can do an enema with it. And basically you get 100% effectiveness, same as if you injected it inside your blood. Now, we found out it's real simple. Unless you squeeze the tissues really hard, you can't get anything to come out. Sure, first couple times you take it, it cleans you really good. It cleans your kidneys and stuff. But most of the junk is magnetically bound in your tissues. Aluminum's in your brain, remember? Lead is in your gonads and all your glands, blocking everything up. And this stuff called bisphenol A is in bloody well everything. And this is one of the most important reasons. I tell people, these shoes are really cool. Want to get healthy? Get those shoes off your feet. Those shoes are terrible. Why? Because you're walking on sleds. Can you use your toes like these? You guys will like these shoes, man, I'll tell you. Okay, and you walk with your toes. So you could, your heart pumps. The heart pumps into this thing called an artery. It's a big tube, right? Biggest plumbing in the body is right there. It's the aorta. And then it goes into arterioles, smaller holes, smaller tubes. And then it goes into the hands and the feet, and it goes down to even smaller, and we call those capillaries. Now the capillaries are really small, real small, and if plastic, arsenic, thallium, heavy metal, and all that stuff gets stuck in there, and some of the stuff that gets stuck in there is because of sulfuric acid is nanobes, and they block everything up with these things, okay? Then what happens is that your heart now can't pump its blood back around because your feet are plugged full of junk. Your hands, what you're going to, heart, arterial, big hole, artery, arterial, down to the capillaries, turns around, turns into a vein, or excuse me, a venule, goes to small again, and then it goes into a vein, comes back to the heart. It's a closed circuit. So it goes heart, artery, arterial, capillary, and it goes from capillary to venule, again small, and it goes bigger again to vein. And if the hands and the feet are clogged with plastic, you can't make the turnaround. You're clogged. Your gas filter has gas in the car, but the problem is the filter's got a problem. It won't let the stuff go by. So most people's feet are massively plugged. That's why all that acupuncture with the feet. How about your feet, your teeth, and everything all corresponds and all acts and works with each other. And if you're really looking to see, when you stand up, your feet have 200 pounds of pressure of mercury at the bottom of your leg. 200 pounds. I only have 5 in my head, standing. Okay? So we have some really cool things. I have this thing called the inversion swing. It's called the omnis swing. Well, we have that probably in about another couple weeks or so. And it's an anti-gravity, and you have to be careful. The older you are, the more you have to watch out, because you can pop something by flipping yourself over, and now your feet have 200 pounds, but since you flipped over, now your head has 200 pounds. Whoa. And your feet only have 5 now. So most people can't do that because their head's going to pop, because they can't have, like your feet and your hands. You think you have capillaries in your brain? Yes, you do. And if it can't come back around again, it feels like your head's going to explode. It's because it's full of brain sand. So what do I use to get rid of brain sand? A variety of solvents. Fulvic, humic, olmic acids. I use different types. Have you ever heard of Adja Clarity? You saw it? Aha, he's got it on his desk. These are paramagnetic sulfate minerals. Very powerful and very, very cleansing. You take a super shot of that. Well, I won't say. I guess I'll tell you. My daughter took a shot the other day. She didn't show up for work the next day. It unloaded her kidney. And as a woman, remember, you're really subjected way more than men to toxicity. Why? All the makeup, perfumes, tampons, fingernail polish, hair dyes, lead in your lipstick. It's a big con job.
That would squeeze out heavy metals and things that you're talking about.
So yeah, so what we've learned, and this is why Sylvia and I we've got trying to design some ideas. Sylvia, stand up for a second, so everybody knows who you are. She's one of the best body workers I've ever met. She's got like 1,000 hours of body work on me. She's a professional dancer, so not using your hands too much. Ballet. Yeah, not a pole dancer. She's an artistical dancer, yeah. So she really has feet that are hands. Okay, I mean, she uses her toes and works me. Do I actually scream a little bit when you do that? What happens?
He likes it. Those creatures he talks about, I could tell you some really strange stories with this. I call him creepy for a reason. Yeah, there's definitely things that I've pushed out, and he screams and is in complete ecstasy by the time.
You know what happens? It hurts. You know what hurts? And how many bruises did I used to get? I don't get bruises anymore. Not a bit. You can beat me up, stand on my thighs. After 1,000 hours of crying and not really knowing what I was doing to break this stuff down. So you have to soften this up in order to break it down. If not, you're playing around, not smart. Because this that lives inside your tissue, if you push on it, that's why people that have fibromyalgia, it hurts. It's because this isn't breaking, it's cutting the tissue. And you actually, this cuts the tissue and you bleed and you get a bruise.
What's that called again? Coral?
This is called oxalate poisoning, and this is just coral. That's what it is. You can feel how sharp. This is exactly what it's in the body.
It gets in the tissues?
It gets in the tissues. It gets into your...
Is that what the cyst is? When you get a cyst from the
that's a lipoma. That's different. That's a fatty tumor. This is actually living... think of calcium in your body gets pulled out with acid, and it turns into cement and gets stuck and turns in. What's a kidney stone? It's this stuff. What's brain sand? It's this stuff. What's arterial and atherosclerosis? This stuff. Myofasciitis? This stuff. So what do? Oxalate poisoning is the #1 cause of disease on this planet.
How do you get rid of that?
It's using solvents. So you got to clean up your act first. You can't take any junk out of the lake until you stop the rivers from flowing into the lake. If not, that would be insanity. You're wasting your time cleaning the lake. That river over there is spewing in pure sludge. So keep on working on the lake, guys. I'll watch you. I used to do the same thing. I didn't know. Yeah, that was next. Good, excellent. Gua sha, you're saying, how do you get this stuff out of you? We have these spoons. They're bullhorn spoons. Cow. They put it in a little, like a press, and it makes this shape. This is a spoon for eating, but I don't use it for that. I use this as a gua sha tool. You know what gua sha is? Anybody? No. How many people have heard of gua sha? Okay, that's pretty good. I learned this technique from a guy named Glenn Calkins, just to start with. And then what we did was we advanced it. Just like I show him things, he shows me things. This is what we researchers do. I'm going to show you things, you're going to show me things. I'm just a student like you. I'm just going to show you some things that maybe you haven't looked at yet. Then you'll have to prove it to yourself and say, isn't it so? Then you'll tell your friend. So what I use is I use this tool in a variety of ways. So if I wanted to work him using the tip of this, we'd put on different solutions, clean the skin with alcohol, use some different things. I put on coconut oil, and then we'd scrape all of this from head to toe. I don't care if it's a skull. You're breaking everything up. And you get bruises from head to toe, so don't do it hard the first time. You have to do it very easy. Check it out. Remember the bruises I gave you? Whoa! Okay?
One thing that I add to is gua sha. It's supposed to be the movement of the fluids in your body. So with that technique, what he's saying, you need solvents to soften that up.
Need solvents.
It moves the fluids that are stuck really deep down into your body, and
you wouldn't believe the black stuff that comes out of your skin.
miracle works.
You have to dioxide before you put it in. You have to exhale.
So Robert, this works the lymph fluid, what I say? Like exercise?
What this does is recalibrate your remember, you have an electronic aura around your body. Let's clean your aura and re-stimulate your aura. What this does, we clean the skin with alcohol first, strip it. And I put in different types of fluids. I put in fulvic, like here's fulvic right here. Anybody want to try to taste this and you can tell somebody? Do you have any fillings in your mouth?
No.
Okay. I want one drop here on your tongue. There you go. Now, you can do whatever, you can swish it around, but you can see it's pretty darn strong stuff. Okay? This stuff, in a few minutes, your tongue will start to turn black. It starts... It'll pull the lead out. It may not in the beginning with you, because it may be... What I usually do is I take a tongue scraper, and you never really use this stuff, these solvents, until you take this junk out of your mouth. You don't wear any jewelry when you use this stuff, because it will melt that and you'll get sick. This will come through your skin, this stuff. Fulvic, humic, and olmic acid are present in normal, healthy plants. Do you know that the foods that this guy's eating, it's all GMO, it's all processed, has none of this in it? Because it's grown with NPK fertilizer made from crude oil or made from an inconsistent source that would be go along with the plants. Do you think you could feed plants petroleum? You think they're going to do good with that? Do you think they make this NPK? Go to Home Depot and tell me you want to fertilize your plants. And you say, what kind of fertilizer do you have? Oh, we got NPK. Okay, can you tell me what do I need? Well, you can have this percentage of nitrogen, this percentage of potassium, and such and such. That's not the game. Well, I want all the minerals, man. But we don't carry that. What's that?
Everything's nitrogen.
Yeah, everything's nitrogen. Yeah. So, the big idea, again, is once you understand these miraculous, see, the energy of the aura is what rebuilds you. So it's very smart to keep the skin clean. This is your portholes to the life. Every pore you have in your skin is a way for the sweat to get out, which we call toxicity. And if it's plugged, you are plugged. Okay, so let's go through a few. On April 30th of this coming up and May 1st, we're doing a 2-day workshop convention at our house. It's Rancho de las Palmas. If anybody's ever been, anybody ever been to the ranch before? It's about 40 minutes from here. Actually, it's about an hour and a half from here. Hour and 20 minutes. It's in Moore Park, Thousand Oaks. It's a really cool place. I live there. We built it. It's about 25 years in the building. It's like more or less like a zoo. It's got a couple hundred turtles. We've got everything from maybe 200 birds, all different types of exotic birds, from peacocks to macaws to we have about chickens, 75 horses on the property. We have an equestrian center, and this is something I built from scratch. And we use it now as it's a teaching center. And so we're doing on April 30th and May 1st, we're going to do a 2-day, it's a workshop. First day is more a little education, get going, and the next time, and you really need to bring a partner, because it's all, you want to learn acid reduction massage, or you want to learn gua sha, you want to learn all these things, well, it's hands-on. It's very simple, and you need a partner of your level. So let's say if you were going to come, you'd want another person that has the same goals as orientations as what you're really looking for. You know what I mean? So you're both on the same path, you're both doing the same thing, and you can actually talk to each other about the things that really were inconsistent, or maybe consistent, and then was inconsistent in there, so you could actually work off another person. We've come up with a 21-day terrain modification program, which is very simple. Let's say you really wanted to uptake your energetic level, and you wanted to start eating some of these foods, and as soon as you start eating them, you go, I can't eat it, it hurts me. Oh, I got gas. Oh my gosh, I don't feel good. I feel much better when I eat the foods that I was eating before. It's because your microbes that live in your body are only processing the foods that you feed it. They're shape-shifting pleomorphic bacteria, and if you kill them, you're a blasphemous. What's a blasphemous? Person, remember the church used to say, if you're a blasphemous, what they do? They burned you at the stake. Okay? So the last thing we want to do is kill any children that live inside us, because thou shalt not kill anything is really smart when you find out. Who read the book? I was telling people last time to read the book Parasite Rex. I remember someone told me. You two guys did. Okay? Did you find out some interesting things about that when you were reading that?
What's the name?
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. Parasite Rex by Carl Zimmer. I have several books that I was going to put together on parasites, but it really is, everything has changed from year to year, because I used to kill parasites before. I don't kill them anymore. They're actually part of yourself. They're only there because of the karma that we actually attract. You eat certain things, you get certain things. You have a certain lifestyle, you get certain types of things that live in that energy band. You want to change your ways, then you change your vibration, and let's go to the next one there. You change your tune, okay, and it's the same thing. What do you think body fat is? Could it be a creature? And if it is a creature, how could we manipulate it? Not kill it. That guy has more creatures than he is him. Discovery did a movie. It's called The Creatures Within. And they only played it a few times. It's really good if you can get a hold of it. And it shows you that the average person 40 years old is not themselves any longer. They're 50% something else. They've lost 50% of themselves. And once you lose 51% of yourself, let's say Richard and I go into business, and he owns 51% of the corporation, and I own 49. Who has the power? You guys are good. Okay? It's legal, isn't it? So, how about the legalities? If I have parasites inside me, that's 75%, not me, who do you think all runs the show? Satan's creatures. That's what I call them. Satan's creatures. And don't try to kill Satan's creatures. Why? Because they fight back. They have a directive inside them. They're your children. And if you fight them, you know what they do? They fight back. Oh, so let's go to the doctor now. You went to the doctor, and the doctor says, you got the sickness. You got lymphoma, you got this cancer, whatever, it doesn't matter. And he says, or she says, we can actually treat you because you have good insurance. And the insurance, of course, is most likely going to give us the, the things that we need to treat you. And if he's going to give you, or she's going to give you 3 modalities. Do you know what they are? 3 modalities. That's what they all do. No difference. Cut.
Burn.
You guys are good, man. Burn, chemotherapy, and poison with my chemicals. They're not medicines, they're chemicals. Chemicals get stuck in this machine. They do have a source of some type of efficacy. Oh yes, they do, but the residue's the... It's residue. So if you put crummy fuel in your car, it's the residue that kills your car. You put crummy fuel in this machine, it's the residue. It's the buildup. It's all the junk that backs up in the system. See? So the 21-day terrain modification is taking 1 meal a day. And we've got some of these products that are like, let's say you wanted to take 1 meal a day. What meal do you think would be the best meal to replace out of the meals that you're eating today? What would be the most optimum meal that you feel that you could replace? Or what's the worst meal of the day that you think you eat? Dinner. You guys are good again. Okay? Dinner is the worst food that you could eat because it's going to sit in your belly all night long, number 1. Okay? And not only that, the food most likely that you're going to eat is not going to be processed because you're in a sedative stage. The foods that you eat, let's say you want to eat hemp seeds. I don't eat hemp seeds until it's the evening time because this is a sedative for me because of its vibration is fat. It's a sedative like avocado. If I want to wake up in the morning and go and do my thing, I don't have fat. Fat is something that has a sedative effect to you. So at night, what kind of foods would you want to have? Raw fats, you'll sleep well. In the morning, if you have them, it's really good to fast in the morning if you can. So what I do is 1 meal a day you exchange. So exchanging, here's a raw vegan protein. Okay, you can do this. It comes in several different flavors. Here's another one here. It's called Elixir Hemp Replacement Meal. It has like 60 different things in it. And what you do is you mix a drink. You can put a little bit of this, a little bit of this. You can have this one time, this time. We got about 10 different styles you can have. And what you're trying to do is just upgrade your fuel supply. Your supply that will take 21 days. Oh, it will. For you to be able to change and pleomorph. Pleo means to change or morph shape your bacteria. So they can uptake this new fuel source. You're going to change the jets on your carburetor, and now you're going to put the super fuel in. But the super fuel, the jets and the carburetor can't be done manually. It's a shift. So your basic body in 21 days will be easily, massively upgraded. Now, the easiest way I found out, I mean, I can't teach anybody anything. All you can do is just get people the ideas, and then what they do is they feel that this is the right program and they start teaching themselves. It's a self-mastery program. Don't look at me as I'm a master. No, not a bit. And I always tell everybody too, please, I don't do consultations. It's free. I'll talk to anybody. So a lot of people call up and say, hey, do you charge for consultations? No. And I'm not giving any medical advice ever, just so you know. What we're doing is we're just giving you reasonable and logical ideas that if you think that they're within your scope, that would be really beneficial, then you set them in, because it's got to be logical to your brain. If not, you're just following another person, and that's not smart. Let's go again real quick here. Okay, and this is where we just talked about the corrosive versus non-corrosive acids. If you don't get these corrosive acids out of your diet, you're wasting your time again. Corrosive acids. Acetic acid. What's acetic acid? What kind of vinegar? Red wine vinegar, throw that stuff in the garbage. Balsamic, all that stuff is acetic acid. Look it up. Acetic acid gives you kidney stones, gallstones. It hardens your body as stiff as a rock. Now, Malic acid is the acid you want to swallow, and that's raw apple cider vinegar. Different. That chelates and breaks down aluminum, cadmium, softens up the system. You can take pure raw vinegar and put it on your body and rub it in. Lay in the sun. Get your gua sha tube out. Now you just soften some stuff up. Put some oil on. So there's a lot of different solvents you can use that are beginning solvents, and vinegar would be a beginning solvent compared to the fulvic acid or these paramagnetic minerals. Let's go to the next one there. Oh, actually, you know what? One sec, just go right back real quick. Lemons is a good acid. So these are all good acids. Look, lemon, fulvic, humic, and omic acids. Raw apple cider vinegar, those are good. Pool acid, hydrochloric acid, battery acid, sulfuric acid from volcanoes. Those are demineralizing. No matter how much you change to the food supply, if you don't get the acid out of your diet, all you're doing is you're causing something that's really insane, because the acid overrides anything you could do. So, you know, overrides everything. It takes, remember, 1 cup of coffee or cola takes 32, it's got to be alkaline. If it's just regular water, it takes even 50 just to wash that crap out. So 1 drop of battery acid is usually what a lot of people in this room are getting right now. Getting it. You're breathing it. It's in your water supply. It's in your shower. It's in your bottled water too. So what you do is, on all water, I take a 1/4 teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate and put it in maybe the size of this size. Shake it up, and in 2 seconds it neutralizes any acid that's in the water. Any acid. Let's go to the next one quickly. You can see at this lower level right here, standard American diet. Check it out. The cows, the chicken, and the pigs. All of the things that live. A pig is, how many percent is a pig DNA compared to human? It's 85%. That's why you get pig hearts, human hearts, valves. It all comes from the pig. Okay? You don't eat the pig for a reason, because whatever's in the pig, trichinosis and all. You should see, I had about 25 potbelly pigs, little guys, just studying them, and they pooped out roundworms, the Ascaris lumbricoides, tons of them, this big, every day. My friend used to come by, and remember Jared? He'd go ahead and put them in Ziploc baggies and go fishing. Because these are the biggest night crawlers you've ever seen. And they're the same. They are night crawlers. These live in the stomach, and they live in our soil, in our intestinal tract. Let's go. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to buzz down real quick here. And you can see, look, you talk about getting plugged with plastic. You have 75,000 miles of hose in this machine. 75,000 miles of hose. That's just a little hose in your face. Here to Chicago is 3,000 miles. The Earth is 8,800 miles wide. Get it? Okay? This machine is clogged. Remember we talked about the hands and the feet? The capillaries? Check them out. You think plastic clogs that up? Yes, it does. Let's go to the next one there quickly. Plastic, biggest problem that everybody in this room doesn't see is the plastic. Quit using it. Glass. I know it's a pain in the butt. Mine fell on the ground here. Breaks. I do have if you really had to weigh and measure some of the top things that people need to change, is quit using plastic. And if you are going to use plastic, then really be smart about it. You know, a lot of these new age ideas is to use recycled plastic. Don't use anything recycled plastic. It's toxic as you can believe. PETE #1 is brand new plastic. What makes you think that you can take all this garbage with labels that have mercury on them and all this other stuff, mix them all up in a thing and put it back in a #5? PET #5. That's not good. So everything we have here is like these containers, HDPT #2s, high density polyethylene #2s. You don't throw any of these packages out. They're all reusable and none of them leach. Let's go to the next one there real quick. Again, the lymph system, and the lymph system is the master filter. When you get cancer of the breast, it's because one of those little lymph systems is clogged. What do? And it's like anything. You take, this is like a woman's, well, one thing you came here tonight, get some cheap peppermint. Get steam distilled peppermint. I use this brand here now. And you put in a big handful on your hand when you get out of the shower in the morning. Rub your hands like this for about 20 seconds to get it really hot, because this is electricity. And then you put it under your armpits and around your body. And if it burns, it's only because you have open sores and cuts, and the things that live under your skin say, don't do that again. And you're going to say, yes, I am. I'm going to do it tomorrow, and I'm going to do it tonight again. And after a week, you'll feel good. But at the first week, you may say, whoa, ouch, oh, and it may really hurt you because you have open sores. Cut yourself and put alcohol on it, it burns. Put your alcohol on this side without a cut, it does nothing, does it? Okay, it's the same type of idea. Let's do it quickly there again. EMFs, bad mistake, especially if you've got any type of this totally manipulates all the stuff you're doing here. This electrical magnetic devices override everything. They're like about 50 to 1. If you wanted to really change something in your life, I have this meter here. It's an ethereal meter. It's a tri-field meter. But it's not tri-field. I changed it and made the settings more sensitive. So I wanted to find out, the battery's dead on this, otherwise I'd show you how to use it. But this is a total toxic machine. And the only way I make it untoxic is I never touch the keyboard, because it has 80 milligauss of electrical energy on that keyboard where the processor is. Okay? 80. This thing goes whoop, all the way over here all the time. So what I do is I get a $10 cheap keyboard, I plug it in the side with a mouse, I push that thing away, and now I check the keyboard and it's 0. But that is a huge problem, especially on your waist next to your gonads. Not smart. They're hidden. Let's keep going there. Actually, let me just buzz down here. There's a couple of ones that I put together here for you. And these are, I mean, you talk about the parasites. This is one of the. This is a couple of things we're going to put together. You watch it on your own time. See, these are hookworms. Look at the teeth on these guys. These are great white sharks. And once they're inside you, they don't leave you. They don't. They lose segments of their bodies. And once you get down to the head, then when you lose them, you will bleed. Oh, I bled a lot in my intestinal tract for a while. This is what they look like. They're really badass. Alien, that movie, that's what they are. Okay? These are reptilians in nature. They're cold-blooded. They steal your energy. Okay? All warm-blooded hosts are their premier hosts. I don't care who it is. If you can anchor them, they'll love you. And if you try to fight them and kick them out, then they'll fight you, because they own you more than you own them. You know the life cycle of this thing? 2 seconds. What the life cycle is. When you read Parasite Rex, did you read those life cycles?
It was incredible, because I heard the comments like what you were saying before, how you really don't control yourself. So at one stage it's hard to imagine that that's a possibility. But when you read the book and you see the mechanics of how they work and how much they control the animals, just to do their bedding, in order to reproduce, to gestate, and to move to a different house, the intelligence behind them is
massive intelligence. Massive.
More than any pet that you could ever own, that they seem so. Creatures.
These are Satan's creatures, I call them. And if you try to kill them, you're a fool. Just put it to you that way. You're a fool. Because you have no idea what you're up against. You're like one person trying to go to China and see if you can take the country over. To with 1 billion people. Oh, you got all your weapons. You're not going to do that. You're going to do anything. There's 1 billion people over there. One person, oh, I got laser guns. So what? Guys will just walk on you. They don't even need to fight you. They'll just trample you. Okay? And not only that, even if you did go ahead and have formidable, but you're going to get tired. You're going to get burned out and your immune system will die, because these guys are numerous. So let's go to the next one there. And there's a variety of these tapeworms and all these different types of creatures, and they really need to be seen so you can see them. See, half the problem with parasites is we don't believe. We believe in all these other guys with beards, all the but we don't believe in this. Okay, so I don't want you to believe in this, because that would just be foolish. I want you to go ahead and really, really investigate this and say, wow, what do I do now? Remember, 50% of the people over 40 here have leaky gut syndrome. And if you have leaky gut syndrome, in time, leaky gut syndrome means your intestinal tract has a hole in it and it's leaking the internal fluid of the out. Remember, this is a tube outside the body that lives in the body, and it's leaking fluid from the tube that's outside the body in the body. Now your immune system is really having a problem. And it'll take about 2 or 3 or 4 years, and you'll wind up getting a secondary disease, cancers, all these weird things, because your immune system's whooped. It's getting pooped on every day, and it's trying to fight this internal bacteria. I've known lots of people that wear a colostomy bag now. Why? Because they got black mold, and the intestinal tract gets a hole in it, and the feces goes inside, and you get sick, and you go to the hospital, and if you don't, you die. You get septicemia, and you see ya. And as soon as you go to the hospital, what they do is they take this knife out, whoa, cut you open, and cut this thing and stitch out, and they put a bag on you. Why? Because if not, you can die. You're leaking septicemia. You're leaking this toxic material inside your body. And a lot of times it's just small little leaks, tiny little leaks. And the little bit of leaks over about a period of a year or two cause your immune system to get weak. And you can see what promotes black mold. Get the glasses off. One thing does. 2, make sure you dry people are the ones that get black mold. Ones that drink. This 21-day terrain modification is very simple. It means you quit drinking the fluids that you're drinking. You only have 4 fluids. 1 kombucha, 2 hibiscus water with chia seeds, 3 blue-green algae. You grow it yourself so it's purple and blue. And then you drink lemon, like the Master Cleanse. Lemon, cayenne, and water. Those are your 4 fluids. I want you to drink 4 of these a day, of whatever you want to drink. You can drink all blue-green algae. I could care less. You're going to hydrate yourself, and you're going to really, really change your fluid profile. Then what you do is you take 1 meal a day if you're beginning. Let's say you're 100 pounds overweight. You can't change quickly, because you're going to find out you're going to get sick quickly. So, you change 1 meal a day, the evening meal. You switch a few things around. You just changed 1/3 of your life right now. You just cleaned it up pretty good. I used to do this as a doctor. You'd come into my offices and basically I can't teach you anything because I don't have time. I got 10 patients waiting for me. I don't have time. So what I put you on is, this was 15 years ago, I put you on Slim Fast because you were eating McDonald's. It didn't matter anyways. You had Taco Bell for lunch and you had whatever you had for dinner. So what I did was I put you on Slim Fast 2 times a day. If you absolutely had, you had it 3 times. And you had a microwave healthy choice meal at night. Okay, and people lost 10 pounds a month, and they thought I was some genius. Now, this was a long time ago because we were really unconscious back then. I used to eat a lot of those microwave dinners too, all in the plastic, and you put them in the microwave, and you overdo the plastic, and it melts and it bends, and you taste it, and it tastes like sort of like plastic. Well, what do you think? Let's keep going so quick. I know we're running out of time, but look at the stuff that will come out of you on this. This is not a killing cleanse. This is a cleanse that will give you nutrification and will give you this called terrain modification. And when you terrain modify, things fall out of you without killing them. You dislodge them versus me trying to punch this dude out, and he's going to have to do what? Fight me back, because it's common nature. You can put your hand up to anybody and you know that. Don't even say anything to them. 9 people out of 10 will push back just because that's just what things do. They try to harmonize and equalize the balance. You push, I'm going to push back too. You're pushing me off balance, man. I got to push back just to get myself on balance. I don't mean bad. You're just pushing me off balance. So let's go to the next one there. Fish tapeworm grows a foot a year. You had a piece of fish, you got it. And then we've got some really good movies that you can see. This is the second time we've been here. I'm going to have to really... So there's a lot of movies I usually show because it really gets you. Let me show you the live fish tapeworm. Oh, are you hungry? Wait until you see this thing swimming through the intestinal tract to feed, because you're going to feed. And it's right there waiting. Come on, feed me. And not only that, this thing is smart, just like he was saying. These parasites are smart. They're going to make you swallow big chunks of food because they don't eat saliva. In the book of the Essenes, you ever heard of that? A couple thousand years. It says right in the book. It's pretty genius. I don't care if you're eating meat. I don't care what you're eating. You're a liquiditarian. Didn't really explain it this way, but this is what I got out of it. And if you're going to eat a piece of meat, then you don't chew anything, swallow any pieces, because if you do, you're feeding them. You swallow the juice only. You break everything down and you make these glands signaturize the food, so when it goes down into the cold fusion nuclear reactor down here to break down into food, that it's already been pre-processed and signaturized, so your body looks at it as food instead of says, whoa, what's this stuff? And it mostly kills every good bacteria that's in there because it doesn't know. It's like putting taking an email and you run it through your virus scan. Do you think your body's smart? Do you think you put anything in it? It runs it through like a virus scan. And if it doesn't cohabitate with the system, it kills it right away. Okay, let's go to the next one there. And this cool life cycle, the Ascaris lumbricoides, everybody in this room has it right now. You can't believe it. I know you can't, but it's true. Okay? They grow about, they look like roundworms, look like little earthworms. You can see that the head, they're hermaphrodites too. They don't need a boyfriend or a girlfriend because they're actually got it both. They make their own children as needed. They don't need a guy or a girl because they're both. Let's go to the next one there. Next one there too. I mean, this is why they call it a disease. So a lot of people think that, you know, like cancer or lymphoma or depression, well, obesity is a disease too, because it just means you're toxic. That's the disease. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you have toxicity in your lymph system. Look, you open this guy's lymph system, what do you think happens? Let me get a pin. It just falls apart. All junk falls out and it gets healthy. Go to the next one there. We know the demineralization, basically. I mean, this is the big problem. NPK fertilizers, there's nothing there. Do I have 5 minutes to close this up more? Or I mean, I can go as long as everybody wants. Let me see here. Exercise is really important. This is me doing this thing called the scorpion in Hawaii. I couldn't do any of this stuff before. So I really, really have totally transformed my whole physiology. Couldn't even touch my toes for 3 years. I can do the splits now. Okay, I can really bend it, you know, and really because of the food intake and the fluid intake that I've really done. Remember the first time I stepped on you, Brian? Remember? Okay, because this guy's Mr. Philosopher down here, and he wasn't really working on the physical body too much. And in the beginning, I was Mr. Physical, and I wasn't working on this thing. You know, basically everybody's, you know, sort of switching, and let's go to the next one there. Here, let me just buzz this through again real quick. Okay. These are simple solutions really quick here. This one we'll go into. This is a special ring that I use that I show. We're doing it just next week. I'm going to do this. It's the same with the magnets on the blender, but you put this around your head. It's a Merlin, the magnetic energy ring, linear infusion neutralizer. What it does is it moves fluid in your brain that's really stuck. You put this device on that you make yourself. You go to Home Depot, you buy the tape, and you put on neodymium magnets about every 3 inches around your head, one positive this way, one negative, one positive, one negative, because it goes in breath, out breath, and you put it on. And what it does is it softens all that crud and sludge up in your brain. Massive change. You put it on, you go, whoa! You feel like you're floating in space. If you close your eyes, you have to sort of gain your position. I used to close my eyes and see if I could walk across the room and see if I could keep my balance. That's how weird it was, because I couldn't you know, connect with it too well. So let's see. Let's keep on going there. Okay, so we already went over that. You want to go ahead and now the truth. Real simple. Google high fructose corn syrup and mercury poisoning. What are you going to eat now? Mercury poisoning keeps your consciousness down. Remember, this is either ignorance or it's on purpose. It's up to you to figure it out. I know what it is. It's not ignorance. You know, these things don't, mercury doesn't land itself in your mouth because of stupidity. You think the ones that run the system here are dumb? Okay? Very smart. GMO rat sterility pictures and study. You saw that one, you go, whoa, I can't eat any GMO, I can't have any high fructose corn syrup. 75% of the things in the store have high fructose corn syrup in it. GMO, 75% of the things in the store, GMO. What am I going to eat? And it's more than 75. Aspartame, false sugars, sickness, cancer, poisoning. Just Google that. Cool, no more false sugars, no more sucralose. And it's basically because it's not that it's bad for you. I can't say that because I'll get in trouble. It doesn't fit into the naturalistic system that we're all trying to become. No chemicals, no synthetics, no hormones, no antibiotics, none of these things. If it doesn't fit into the naturalistic lifestyle, then kick it out of your life. Let's say you're smoking cigarettes. Okay, great. You want to get one toxicity out? This is hemp line dipped in beeswax. Okay, so what you do is, let's say you're smoking, let's just say the typical brand. I won't say the name because I get in trouble again. But one of the most famous cigarettes on the market that you see everybody smoking, dude's got a cowboy hat on, don't say who it is, you already know. It's got over 4,000 chemicals, burn accelerators, additives, and all that stuff in it. You're not smoking tobacco, you're smoking chemicals, you're smoking toxicity. Actually, nicotinic acid is very good for your brain. When you eat niacin, it goes into your body. When you smoke nicotine, it goes into your head. So it actually is very good for you in small amounts. But it has to be pure tobacco with no insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides. Now, if you're going to smoke, then what you do is switch over those non-organic, full of pesticides and all that stuff, to at least, and the only one I know of is American Spirit. It's the, so if people want to smoke, at least to get switch. Remember, you're switching your lifestyle over from suboptimal to more optimal. Even though smoking may not be optimal, it's a heck of a lot better than 4,000 chemicals. And to get rid of this chemical, you're sucking up a lighter. That's benzene. You want to get sick? Go ahead, guys. It's not the tobacco. It's not the cannabis. It's not any of that stuff. It's the lighter. It's the processing that basically most people smoking out of pipes and stupid. Look at the cigarette papers. They're full of bleach. Even the names on the side that they put the name on there, it's lead. Google lead and lipstick for all the girls. Does anybody know that? Does everybody know that almost all lipsticks have lead in it? And by the time you're 40 or 50 years old, if you've been using it since you were like 15, 16, 17, you've swallowed 3 gallons of it. Okay? Chlorine poisoning, glufosinate poisoning. I'm sure no one really understands what glufosinate poisoning is. Okay, because it's very hidden. If you look up glufosinate poisoning, you'll see that glufosinate is an herbicide, and this herbicide is spliced with wheat, corn, and soy. That's why I say I don't eat any wheat, corn, and soy because I don't feel like suffering for 3 days. I've terrain modified my gut wall, and I used to be able to eat wheat, corn, and soy, but if I do now, since it's got such this glufosinate in it, it's an herbicide. So here's what it is. You got the plant, you splice it, you put in this herbicide, and now the plant grows, and the herbicide grows in the plant. So you don't have to, so the farmer doesn't have to put on pesticides, right? Then you eat the corn, let's say, or the wheat, or the soy, and when you do, it goes down in your system. Remember, then these things don't stop doing the genetic modifications. They genetically modify and keep on going. So you swallow it, they have a mating situation with your gut wall bacteria, and now your gut wall bacteria are secreting glufosinate. There's lots of studies on this. It's not me making this up. So if this was the truth, then you'd say, wait a minute, what am I going to eat? Look, no high fructose corn syrup, no GMO, it's all aspartame, false sugars, MSGs and bloody well everything. Look that up, MSG side effects and hidden names. Look at them all, 50. You read at the bottom there, it has orthophosphoric acid in it. That's corrosive. Orthophosphoric acid, and it's in an aluminum can wrapped in bisphenol A inside the can. You crack it open, and the fizzing starts to go, and oxidation starts eating up the metal sides. Let's go to the next one there. These are famous quotes, of course. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We all know this. You are what you eat and all these things. Basically, what you're really trying to do is go back to nature. You're really trying to go back to the essence of what they've been saying for hundreds of years, and we've just been convenienced out of this sort of idea. Now we're going back to what we call convenience. Oh, you got your hand up.
Does chapstick have lead?
Chapstick doesn't have lead in it. You know what it's got in it? It's not beeswax. It's made from crude oil. Chapstick is made from petroleum. Vaseline intensive care, Vaseline jelly. Most of these are made, if you actually read Vaseline intensive care and just read the ingredients, why would someone put aluminum in the lotion? Why would you put aluminum in the salt? Why would you put aluminum in my water supply? But you put aluminum in all these things. What are you doing? Where does aluminum go? Aluminum goes into the brain. Aluminum short circuits this machine, and it keeps you complacent. What does fluoride do? Same. And that's why it's really important. Robin's here for a reason. He's waking tons of people up. Yes. In a good way? He is. But the problem is, once you get woke up, the problem is if you don't wake up other people, then you become a misfit. And what happens is now you get ostracized out of the system, and everybody really looks at you as a weirdo. So I've been doing this for about 10 years, and really it's not easy to, I mean, look at you, Robin. How many, I mean, why do you do this? Why, because you got nothing better to do? No, I mean, why? Everything you have in here, from Nikola Tesla, all these things, these are all like, they're all like the secrets that are hiding out. And for some odd reason, you want to share to people that are interested. And like you told me, there's more players now, isn't there? 10 years ago, there wasn't hardly any players. Everybody's too busy. Let's go to the next one here. We're almost done, though. 5 rings of consciousness is very important. The first ring of consciousness is survival. Second ring of consciousness is materialistic. The one who dies with the most toys wins. This is consciousness. It's rings of to become aware, becoming aware is the game. Spiritualistic is the third ring out. 1, 2, 3. It means you sit on a fence and you look at the dark and you look at the light, but you do nothing. Spiritualists won't do a lot of the things that what it takes that the other people do, because they don't want to do those things. That's just part of connecting back into yourself. So the next ring, you start out with survival, you go to materialistic, then you go to spiritualistic and open up, then you're ready to go into the next ring, and that's where we're all at right now. It's interdimensionality. They're priming us with movies, with tons of things to be able to show you that there's tunes above where our reality sits, and there's tunes below. And our job is to become more aware of both sides. Not just jump over to the light side, not just jump over to this side. It's basically to learn both sides and step back and be conscious enough to figure out what you want to do with it. It's not being pushed into it. And then the last, of course, is Christos or Buddhic, which means that the all-knowing. You're a higher level of ring of consciousness. Go to the next one. I have a couple more left here just to... And this is the game. It's 2010's done. 2011 is the year of integration. If you don't integrate this year with the sun where it's at, good luck. Okay? This is, I mean, I'm not saying it to be mean or anything else. We're in a massive change right now. Many of the animals, many of the creatures of the planet are being terraformed. The planets are being terraformed. We're being terraformed. Let's go to the next one. There are certain, next one. There are, check this out. This is a real picture. You talk about a hybrid starseed. This lady's on her hands, and I've seen her, and she goes ahead and shoots a target with a bullseye with her feet and makes it every time. You ever seen her on TV? You ever seen her on TV? Oh no, this is a Chinese lady, really super talented. And check her out. She's shooting this with her foot, and she's looking, and she's doing a handstand. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So how to hit your target properly? That's the whole idea. If not, you know, when you miss your target, you know what that means, right? It means you've sinned. That's the termination of really the understanding of sin. You missed your mark. You sinned. Sinner? Okay, next one. So it's going to be a revelation, or a revolution. And a revolution doesn't mean it has to fight. It means there's love. It's a revolution. This used to be like the Ron Paul thing they used to go ahead and do. Okay? So let's go to the next one there. And this is really simple here. You can either play this biological terrain, which is what we're talking about here, or the germ theory. Terrain is everything. And once you learn that, you'll say, I just want to manipulate my terrain because the germ theory is stupid. I got cancer. I got this. I got the sniffles. My pee-pee hurts. My whatever. There's a million different problems that everybody complains about, and those are symptoms. The terrain, once your terrain is in form, everything is in form. It's the terrain. Let's go to the next one there. And these are the things, this guy named Beauchamp, these microzymas, okay? And this is why I use a lot of gua sha. You want to break down a lot of things that are trying to, think of, a lot of people, you see them, they're stiff. Think of, there's like a floss of one piece of fiberglass, and then there's another piece of fiberglass, and these pieces of fiberglass keep growing on the body, and that's when we get stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. So what I use is solvents, and we break. I mean, I can really use this really hard in the beginning. I used to get bruises everywhere. And after you do this about maybe 10 times or so, you'll bruise hardly at all, and you'll feel like you've probably lost 10 years of age. Immediately. Let's go to the next one there. And this is the same idea. This is very basic. It's a transmutation in terrain modification. The old way used to diet. That's stupid. Okay? Why would you want to starve your children? Terrain modify them. Let them find another host that'll feed them well. You'd want to pass your children on to someone else that just doesn't get it yet. So what? They don't get it yet. Okay, check, this is a great picture. Saint Michael Archangel statue. This is before and after, or before and after. Either way. But you can see that this is like a work of art from the inside out, and this is like a work of art from the outside in. So this person here is the same person, but this person has a critical factor of probably 75% creatures versus this person's 75 to 80%. You're never 100% yourself. It's very hard. We live in a weird world. And if you can keep 75% yourself, let me tell you, boy, are you on the top of the world. Okay? And you know when you're more of yourself because your body you start to see through your skin, and your body really changes quickly because you're not dieting. All you're doing is nutrifying. This is a nutritional type of idea cleanse. Killing is a big mistake. Next one there. And go back one more time. See, the idea of this word, pleomorphism, is what you need to understand. If this was true, this one word, that would mean that killing anything in your body would be ignorantly stupid. Pleomorph means that if you're smart enough to manipulate your terrain, then those creatures inside will work with your terrain modification. They are not here to kick your ass. But if you try to kick their ass, they will put up a formidable fight, and of course they will win. They always do. Very few people go ahead and win the fight because they don't know what they're fighting. They're fighting like darkness. How could you fight something in the dark? You can't see what you're doing. You even go to the doctor. He says, oh, you got a sickness, but he doesn't tell you what it is. Oh, you got cancer. What is cancer? Oh, it's a mystery. We don't know. Oh, really? Let's go to the next one there. A couple left, we're almost done. Gut bacteria can make you fat. This is very smart. See, once you get the gut bacteria to transpose who you think you are, then you have no choice but to keep feeding those. At the person smoking cigarettes, you have no choice but to keep feeding these things because they're going to be in control of you. And unless you see, all you have to do is there's a materialistic parasite that lives inside us, and once we lose that, then there's a one that's worse behind it. It's called a psychic parasite. They're easy to get rid of once you understand that they're there, and then you can observe them. But if not, the psychic parasite is really you. And you don't know it's you because it's seamless behind you. It's behind your veil. And it controls your emotions, it controls your thoughts, and it needs to feed periodically also. Excellent book, everybody. And also, I would very much suggest, if you haven't read this or listened to the tape, it would be very smart for you to do. This book will awaken you to some degree, and if it doesn't, it just means most likely that you need to keep on letting it work itself through you. Reading is hard because everybody's brain's full of aluminum, but it's plugged. So the book is cool, but the tapes are better. Okay? It's called The New Earth. Okay, and this sort of weird-looking guy on the back here, Eckhart Tolle, is really had an enlightenment, and this is probably, I would say, probably one of the most beneficial. You can read on all the parasites and all that stuff, but this is the game. It's consciousness. But in order to get consciousness, the body is the key to this. So if this is dirty, then this will never be. And if this is dirty, then this will never be. It's a holographic system. Why do they put aluminum in your food? It goes to the brain. This is dirty, this will never be. This is dirty, this will never be. So it's the same thing. The body and the mind and the body fighting each other. And one other really good book. This book called Survive. We carry this book. It's a cheap book. Do you have this book? You know?
That's the lady doctor.
Well, she's not. I don't know if she's a doctor or not, but it's Sharon Winters. But this other guy, the information, wherever they got it from, it doesn't matter. The information's tight in here. It's a little bit of a Bible. It's like 500 pages. But if you want to know where all the junk comes in, this book will make you depressed. This book will make you depressed. Yeah, because everything that you're doing is not right. So what you can do is only just fix things a little bit at a time. And after about 6 months or so, you've got a lot of checkoffs. Let's see, Dr. Oz, bad bugs make you fat. You are what you eat is proven to be one of the major determinants of the community of bacteria living in your intestines, says microbiologist Dustin of Stanford University. Excuse me, no shite. This is hard for people to grab. Now, our gut contains 1,000 species of microorganisms, and this sophisticated flora appears to be involved in human health and weight control. Oh my God. Thank you for saying that, guys. Now this is so easy, and if you think that you're going to diet to try to change what lives inside you, all you try to do is manipulate the gut bacteria. They're really your immune system. So if you have a weak immune system, it's because your gut bacteria have been really beat up. And if you've got mercury fillings, guess what? You're swallowing mercury vapor and you're killing all these things. You eat GMO, you eat aspartame, you have all these different types of chemicals. Remember, it's not the names that were, because a lot of people say, oh, you're banging on these companies. I could care less about the companies. I'm not saying anything. This doesn't fit into the naturalistic lifestyle. This doesn't fit into a non-chemical, non-synthetic, non-hormone, non-antibiotic. And if you're really trying to get clean, the only way you can get clean is to live as clean as you can get. And it's really hard to live clean in the Ascaris lumbricoides. This is how it looks like in your gut wall, and this is the handful of worms that everybody in this room has. Yes, you do. And this is a child that took some expectorant. The Ascaris lumbricoides is in every. I don't care if you're fat, skinny. It doesn't matter. They're there. Got a dog? Got a cat? They're there. And you can see, check this guy. You want some? And here they are in the gut wall right here. Ascaris lumbricoides evolved with humans that it lives in the intestines of millions of people. Millions. How about billions? Large and active. It is. They have these surgeries you can watch. They're not done here because it's illegal to do these surgeries, but you can look at them in China, Malaysia, and they do these gut surgeries. They split everybody open, they pull the intestines and put them on this like table, and then they cut a little hole in the stomach right here. And this lady squeezing out a jar full of Ascaris lumbricoides roundworms. Did I show you those ones? I have them on Earthshift. I mean, and when you look at them, you got to really look at it, because your body's going to, your mind. Remember, these parasites are going to say, "Don't look at that. Get out of there. Leave. You got to go to the bathroom. You got to do something." But all you have to do is say, "No, I'm going to look at this." You have to really see it to be able to actually short circuit this veil that lives behind you. And once you know, like the Parasite Rex book, that changed you, didn't it? Yeah. Changed you. So I'm just here to inspire you, give you a little bit of inspiration, a little enthusiasm, and then go out and do your own homework and come back and give me some inspiration and enthusiasm. Right back. It's the same thing. Let's go to the next thing. One here. Okay, so this is the pleomorphism versus monomorphism. Pleomorphism means many forms, This is the whole idea. This is an interchondrial monomorphism, which means one body or one form. See, most of the doctors think that this thing is going to stay a glass bottle and it'll never change into anything else but this glass bottle. Our side of the system says pleomorphism says this bottle will change into what I want it to as long as I change my terrain. It'll change to me because it's hooked to me and it wants to live. How about that? Every energy field wants to live. Doesn't matter if it's a 20-foot giant schistosoma tapeworm. It wants to live. Let's go to the next one. 25 beef tapeworms can reach 25 feet. Some fish tapeworms even longer. Foot a year they grow. 20 years old, 20-footer. 30 years old, 30-footer. 50 years old. That's true, too. And they break off little pieces at a time. Hidden names for MSG, check them out. MSG, gelatin, calcium caseinate. So all that food you see, all those protein powders, all that junk you go ahead and get at the store, read the labels. You'll go, it's got MSG. Everything has it. Why? Because Robin and I are companies, and we want you to buy our food. And in fact, we don't even want you to buy it. I want you to be addicted to it. Okay? We're smart. We know how to get you come back over and over and over again. Hydrolyzed vegetable protein. Doesn't that sound cool? Hydrolyzed vegetable vegetarian protein. Yeah, I want some. Textured protein. Whoa, you guys are good. Monopotassium glutamate. Anyways, all these whey protein concentrate, whey protein, anything with this protein. These guys are good. Look, anything anytime you see natural flavors, read the cola cans, natural flavors in every one of them. Why? Because it's got MSG to keep you coming back.
We can make it juices.
Who owns them?
I don't know, but I was...
Is it pasteurized? I wouldn't touch them. I don't have pasteurized foods if you're going to have anything because they're non-enzymatic. And it's feeding the creatures. Anything that's dead feeds death. Death begets death. Life begets life. And if you understand that simple understanding, it's very simple. You eat death, all you do is propagate cockroaches. What are cucarachas? Cucarachas eat what? What do flies eat? What do cockroaches eat? What do beetles eat? What do lobsters eat? What do crabs eat? These are called the shite eaters. They're waste eaters. So if you eat waste, because it's not for you, then you need to get waste eaters inside you. Remember, these microbes are only karmic related. That's it. So once we find that out, we'll say, whoa, what did I do to get 100 pounds overweight or such and such? Well, maybe you got a vaccine. Maybe you got this. Maybe you didn't do anything and you got booby-trapped. Maybe you got tripped. Okay? Most of the people got tripped in the system. That's why I get a little frustrated, because I see a lot of the authorities tripping people. And that's not cool. And then again, I have to watch myself, let me tell you, because I'm not here to bang on any companies. I'm not here to do anything. I'm just here to say, if you want to play the naturalistic lifestyle, then let's play. You just can't really, you just can't really get into this lifestyle that easy unless somebody sets it up for you. Because how do you set it up? Terraforming the mind and body. Remember, disease to ease, carbon to crystalline, acid to alkaline, incurable to curable, sickness to health, binary to Fibonacci. You want to get healthy? Then get Fibonacci. It sounds like, like a shoe. Okay? Fibonacci is the golden mean sequence. It's the sequence of nature. It's how nature runs its course in a mathematical formation. The 13-number sequence is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, and 144. 13 numbers. So this finite to infinite. This is what it is. It's all these semi-conscious to consciousness. So the idea is to travel up the yellow brick road, like in The Wizard of Oz. That's what Jacob's Ladders is, and that's what the Stairway to Heaven is, these ideas. We're almost done. I think next one. We have some weapons of mass destruction. I got some good ones. We're not talking bombs. We're talking magnetic generators. We're talking 5200 microamps on your radial pulse. We can whoop ass on anything that lives in your blood. Oh, and you will get sick. You will. You're going to kill a little bit too much too quick, and you may get what's called Herxheimer syndrome. Lots of doctors go to jail every year for being effective at killing too many parasites too quick. They die in the body, and what happens is you got too many dead critters that are flesh, and you get a heart attack because they bring your blood below 7.2 because it's a bunch of dead material. Body can't process the death fast enough. It's like putting 10,000 fish that are dead into a live lake, and the dead fish will kill the rest of the fish. Remember, death begets death. Weapons of mass destruction, ozone generator. See, this is what I do down here. Instead of using weapons of mass destruction by stabbing you, I'm going to terrain modify you, and it's still going to whip your, you know what. It's a weapon of mass destruction in a terrain modification. It's slow. Versus, this is fighting. Want to fight? Pull your sword out. First one draws blood, wins. Well, what do you think? You're not going to stop. It's death to the finish. So weapons of mass destruction, we have all these things up here, and these are patents by MIT, Albert Einstein College of Medicine. 50 to 100 microamperes. You ever heard of Soda Instruments? They have to sell these things in Canada, send them over to you as a plant, such and such, because over here you can't sell them. There's too many patents. You get thrown in jail. So what we use is heirloom foods, keeping hydrated with 8 to 12 glasses of hydrational liquids a day. Sunlight is a weapon of mass destruction for these things. Water. You're dehydrated, then you get sticky, and you get sick. Alkalinity. You have acid, you lose your power, your conductivity, you get sick. Dissolving agents. We use chelating agents. EDTA, dissolving agents, different types of things that break down the inorganic minerals to get them out of your body. Ayurvedic herbs. All these herbs are cold processed. Tribulus, increase your hormone output. Take a spoon of that, hold it in your mouth. Man or woman, it doesn't matter. This increases your vitality. Tribulus is what they put in a lot of the enhancement, the sexual enhancement things, because it gets you rumbling. Bacopa tastes terrible, but it's magical for you. Okay, Shilajit, the king of Ayurvedic herbs. I use Shilajit in the morning. Mucuna, let's see, Mucuna, wherever it's at. Mucuna has L-dopamine in it. Okay, and L-dopamine feeds your brain. Phenylalanine is in the blue-green house. So all these things basically make you feel happy. So if you feel happy, you're going to want to play. And if you don't feel happy, you're not doing anything. You're just going to lay in bed. We're almost. I've been saying that for a while. Okay, keep on another one there. Okay, so this is just real quick here. It's just basically the 21-day superfood feast is a terrain modification nutritional cleanse. It's not a killing cleanse. If you kill things, then all you're doing is starting a fight again. Not smart. Nutritional cleanse means get back your power, get back your conductivity, get back your minerals, get back your hydration. Learn about certain types of things that kick your butt and understand them. No starving or dieting allowed on this. This is a nutritional cleanse. You have as much as you want. No killing allowed on this cleanse. None. Thou shalt not kill anything. Alkalize and terrain modify the internal external body. How are you going to do that? With these foods. Pretty simple. It takes 7 days to get an addiction and a bad habit, 21 days to remove it. Very simple. Again. We can easily have accumulated hundreds of addictions or habits that do not serve us any longer in a lifetime. So don't you think if you got rid of a bunch of habits that you don't need anymore, don't you think it would free up your hard drive space on your computer if you have Adobe 2 and 3 and all these different types of programs, but you only have so much memory in your chip? What do? Do you keep on adding programs on your computer, or you get rid of the dogma? You get rid of the dogma. And the dogma is all the things you've accumulated for the prior ignorance that you didn't know about. Okay? Simple. So we'll just read through this real quick. 21-day nutritional cleanse is an upgrade to the available good and bad bacteria to be reprogrammed, not killed. Reprogrammed to eat heirloom foods. And once you eat heirloom, you can't go back. You're done. Go back to eating GMO, and all you'll say is I'm not eating that ever again. Whoa! Isn't it so? Wait a minute. Okay. If you eat GMO, what happens to you? Choose from 3 different levels of modification. So the idea is the terrain modification usually takes about 21 days to reprogram the bacteria to be able to switch to another tune. Okay? People usually do this cleanse 4 times a year. You're upgrading yourself. You're just, each time you go on a run, what happens? You get a little better. A little more. So what you're trying to do is advance. So the terrain modification, okay, people usually do 4 times. This may take a few times to get to the area of cleanliness or modification that you wish to attain. We recommend this level for all to try the 21-day modification cleanse. And if you can do this for 3 meals a day for 21 days, you're pretty good. You can do 3 modificational drinks a day because you're cutting out all your GMO. You're cutting out all your false sugars. You're cutting out all your liquids that would be perversional to your hydration, acid. So if you can do this for 21 days, 3 meals a day, you're done. It's like being a heroin addict. You're done. You don't have to go back. You're done with that feeling of, I need it. So once you get rid of it, don't you feel that you could get on with your life? Yeah. But until you have these revelations inside your own system, then it's really hard to 21 days. So 21 days of eating and drinking liquids that are highly mineralized, nutrient-dense, Ayurvedic herbs, no GMO, no false sugars, no chemicals, synthetics, hormones, or additives, no dead or processed foods or drinks. Understanding your new upgraded biological terrain means to adhere to a superior source of fuel and hydrating mineralized liquids for your new healthy lifestyle. This is the key to the beginning. Once you can do this one time, you can't go back, just like in Morpheus. Would you really want to? You know, Neo and Morpheus, if you watch the movie The Matrix, he says, you know, I don't like this, man. Can I go back? Why would you want to? Because this is a rude awakening. I like The Matrix, man. I could eat meat. I told Brian on the lawn, I'm going back to eating meat. I'm going to knock my consciousness down about 5 pegs, and I had a lot more fun back then. Why? Because I was really I wasn't really conscious enough to see that the body was being poisoned. And once I do, and once you actually spend this much time and really help as many people as you can that are poisoned, the last thing you want to do is see people poisoning themselves, because you just I went through 15 years of I had such lead poisoning when I was a kid. I still have lead poisoning in my ankles. You can see it all in the blue veins, all those little varicose veins. That's blood poisoning. So when you see blue in your legs there and the little veins, like here on my ankle right here, those little tiny little blue things, that's lead poisoning. It gets stuck in the capillaries like we showed on the little fingers on that one picture. It gets stuck in there and it turns blue. Lead's blue. Cyano. Blue. Okay. The cleanse is recommended until you have done this complete terrain modification program. It takes about 21 days to have the internal creatures like bacteria, mold, fungi, parasites, candida, etc. to shapeshift or pleomorph to a new level of existence. So does any of this make sense at all? Really? Yes. Okay, so if it makes sense about not killing anything, then terrain, your next level of understanding is really to say, I get it. We're not killing, we're going to fluid, we're going to change some of these things that in time you're going to say, this was simple. Of course, it's supposed to be. If it's hard, remember, it's got to be easy, economical, and efficient. If it's not, you can't get it. Alkalinity and liquidity from being acid and dry or dehydrated. Okay, 21. The cleanse can be. We've got to go to the next one. That's all right. Real quick, the concepts. Remember, you and we are all wanting to upgrade our energy, vibration, and consciousness. The hydrated live liquids are the easiest way to raise up the vibration and tune of the body. As you raise this up, everything just falls out of you. It's very simple. You raise your tune up, all those creatures live in the lower tunes, they can't attach to you, and they leave you. They're only living in attachment of electricity. If you raise your tune up and they can't handle the music, then they just leave you. Or they have to terrain modify themselves to the new you, which means these microbes now are your saviors instead of actually your killers or demise. They're your nemesis at the lower levels because you're acid. And you've only made them your nemesis is because of your ignorance. It doesn't matter. So what you do is you change the level of ignorance, because it doesn't mean you're stupid, it just means you didn't know. And what you're doing is you're fulfilling a transmutational change, which is very simple. So the concept is the body is 18 gallons of salt water, and it's salt water too. So quit drinking fresh water, everybody. Put a drop or two of Soleil salt in, get the conductivity back. A drop or two of magnesium in, get the conductivity back. You don't drink dead water. It's very important to stay hydrated and exercise daily, even if it's walking a mile 5 times a week. If you don't increase your neural nets and stretch them out, regeneration can't occur. Remember, the only reason why you get degeneration is because your nerves have shrank. All your nervous system is shrinking. So how do you think you expand your nervous system? You got to stretch it out. You got to reach out, and exercise is how you reach it. Spending time in nature is also very essential if you want to get healthy. And barefoot walking, if you can, 3 days a week, is very smart. Don't forget the sun. We all need D3 and other photonic chemical nutrients from the sun. The research is out that you do need the sun, and without it, regeneration of health are greatly compromised. Greatly. Skin cleaning is one of the most important terrain modifications we are going to perform, opening up the pore and letting out the toxic chemical pesticides, heavy metals, plastics, etc. via the lymphatic system, which is the largest filter of the body. When this organ gets clogged, it is the beginning of an internal disaster. Let me read that one again. It is the beginning of an internal disaster when the lymph system gets plugged. Very simple. So once we understand that the internal disaster building up after accumulating billions and billions of particles of all sorts of debris found in our foods, drinks, air we breathe, and a variety of household and personal care items, that we need to be upgraded to stop the flow of these insidious poisons that are pretty much everywhere. So all you or we can do is be aware of the toxicities and negotiate them reasonably and logically. This is the way of the ESP Wholesale Club and the ESP network community. It's where you can actually go talk to other people and everybody's just wanting the same thing you do. And somebody else finds something, it'd be interesting for you to be able to find that out and see if it works for you. It's pretty simple. This is the way ESP, to be able to find the best organic, raw, vegan, heirloom superfoods and energetic fluids. Detoxification and other special products are all at large discounts. Okay, so we know disease is the number one cause of disease on the planet, dehydration. Number one.
Yes.
Number one cause of disease on the planet is dehydration. 10 to 12 glasses of electrolyte water, magnesium sulfate crystal water. That's so we were talking about. Okay, beginners, like I said, you replace 1 meal, intermediate, replace 2 meals, advanced, replace 3 meals. Try to replace all your liquids from your diet. Remove all your liquids from your diet except for the recommended intake of hydrating and detoxification liquids that we want to show you. 4 different liquids, remember? Lemon, cayenne, the blue-green algae after you mature it for a day and a half in the refrigerator, mature the hibiscus flower with chia, and the alkalinity, the alkalized water, or called the crystal water. This is the stuff that will come out of you. This is fecal tar. These are real. Everybody has it. So if you have a little bit of extension in your stomach, remember, I don't care if you're, let's say you're 100 pounds overweight, 100 pounds. You would think that your skin would be this thick, but it's not. I used to work at the hospital there, and we used to do a lot of cuts. And I don't care how big you are, the stomach is on the fattest, biggest person is only this much adipose tissue. What is underneath all of that is intestinal plaque. John Wayne had over 35 pounds of that on his autopsy. You ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. 35 pounds of what? Tar. And it's clogging up all black mold. Did he have leaky gut syndrome? He probably died of it. That's how everybody dies. They get sick. Your immune system dies down, and then you die of a secondary disease, which you call cancer. If your immune system's strong, it's like lasers. I have one laser gun in here, and you guys are wimpy bacteria. You're out of here. And if my immune system goes down, I got a pea shooter now. And I hit him in the head, and he just gets pissed at me, and he jumps at me. Versus my laser cut them all in half. So the immune system either uses a pea shooter, uses a BB gun, or it actually has a laser, and it's very powerful. Let's go to the next one there. Yeah. We're done. So this is, really in a nutshell, this is really easy to change. It's just actually grasping the ideas. It's grasping the knowledge a little bit, just to be able to really say, I feel that this is what now I'm going to do. What would be wrong with remineralizing your body? What would be wrong with rehydrating your body? What would be wrong with taking out, not the chemicals out of your body, but stop putting them in? What would be wrong with doing any of these things? Remember, this is a clinical study of you. What happens to you and I and all of us when we clean our act up? I know what happens.
Clear thinking, more energy.
Yeah. You get healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise, and after that you want to get consciousness. But until, that's why the group, carbon-based to crystalline, is a very small group, because in order to be able to actually play that, you have to be healthy, wealthy. Wealthy is not money, it's having information. And healthy, wealthy, happy. Happy means you're not toxic, because if you're toxic, you're not happy. You can't be. And when you're healthy, wealthy, happy, you become wise. And then all you can do is work on consciousness, because there's nothing else to do. So if you're healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise, your internal sustainability system breeds, it commands the external side to become sustainable. So that's it. We're all done. Ah.